I'm going to tell you a bit about the background of the whole idea of Ridley Scott coming back. So Ridley Scott is the director, right? He points the camera at shit and makes it look good. When it says haunting atmosphere in the script, he makes that come to life. He picks where the camera goes, how the camera moves. Is it a wide shot into a medium shot, or is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it, shot, reverse shot, blah, 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 blah. Are we going to come down from high? Are we going to look up at the ceiling? All that kind of jazz, right? Ridley Scott gets to decide that in Alien, the camera looks up a lot. Why? Because there's a fucking track in the middle of the corridors. But number two is, this camera down looking slightly up at everyone makes you feel like you can see the roof, which you usually don't see in Friends and other things, Friends the series. Most things, when they're inside, it's a studio and you don't actually get to see the roof. He filmed a lot of roof. And that makes you feel that there's a limit to this. The claustrophobic feel, the spaceship feel. He's great at doing it. Do not get me wrong. He's fantastic at doing it. He really, really, really is. And the weirdest thing is, Ridley Scott directed his first film at the age of 40. Well, actually, he was 39, but he started his movie career as a director at 40. Which, if you think about it, that's pretty fucking incredible. Because, other people, just say Spielberg, were doing their, started their careers 20, 23, stuff like that. So Ridley Scott was quite late to it. He'd done loads of adverts before, blah, 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 blah. The story is not Ridley Scott's. The designs and stuff, the alien, are not Ridley Scott's. So the film isn't Ridley Scott's. The problem is that there are films where it's written and directed by. So a brilliant example of this is James Cameron, right? Terminator and Aliens are James Cameron's. Yes, the Alien. Yes, Ripley. Yes, LV-426 as a location, which didn't have a name. So basically, apart from the exterior shots of LV-426 with the lava flows, apart from that, the shuttle, Ripley herself, and the alien in its life cycle, those are the only elements. The rest of it is completely his. It's 57 years later. He's distanced himself from it. He mentions the Nostromo. That's about it. That's all you need. Some mug shots of the crew. Wig wham bam, thank you, ma'am. But the dialogue, the characters, the events, that was born from James Cameron's head, and the directing is James Cameron's. So it's basically James Cameron's film. When there's a facehugger scene with Ripley and you, he dreamt that up. He then made that happen. He then said, put that there, put that there. He orchestrated and did the choreography for the action scenes. He drew the pulse rifle. He did most of the dropship. He did all these things. I want this, 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 I want this. He physically designed some of the elements. No, I don't want that. Oh, shit, give me something smaller. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So Aliens is more James Cameron's film, where Alien is more a bit of everybody. And that works perfectly. You've got a brilliant director, a brilliant cinematographer, the score's fantastic. You've got an excellent artist to do the alien shit. You've got Ron Cobb. You've got Chris Foss, did a couple of concept artist things. But Ron Cobb, you've got all these really good people. You jam them all together and you make Alien. Wonderful. And you can tell Alien is the better shot film than Aliens. That's not taking Aliens down a peg. That's pushing Alien up. Cool. It's a milestone film, is Alien. So, of course, you laud it around, right? You're Ridley Scott. Yeah, I did this start of my career. I know, my first big film, and it's fucking awesome. Right, changed the entire genre. Don't even like sci-fi. All right, cool. I've got no problem with that. You get the credit for what you did. Well done. And the problem is Ridley Scott gets the credit for what everybody else did as well. Okay. If you're talking to one man, that's going to happen. Ridley Scott, will you ever do another Alien film? Which really is like saying, Ridley Scott, will you direct another Alien film? And there is a video clip of him saying, back in the day, back in like 1995 or something, he said, or I think it might be 1998 or something, he said, I will only do, and I'll only go back to the Alien universe if the story is solid, if the script is excellent. Oh, okay then. So, eventually, if people bug you enough and you run out of money enough and you've got nothing to do, you sit there and go, fuck it, I'll do Alien. So that's what Ridley Scott did. But as a director, it's kind of like an artist in a sense. You want to do something new. You want to do something different. In other words, what Ridley Scott wanted to do was another film. Right? He wanted to do another film. He didn't want to do Alien. He didn't want to go back there. So it's like, well, we've done the Alien, and people have done the Alien, and everyone's done the Alien. The Alien's wasted. That's his idea. And then he's like, what haven't we touched? Oh, the space jockey. Okay, cool. People always ask about... People have asked me for decades now, what was the space jockey? Now, the problem is that when Prometheus was made and released, 2010, released in 2012, so when it was made and when it was released, Ridley Scott's getting on now. Fuck me, he's just about turning 70. He's basically turning 70 at that time, right? He's getting into his 70s. Whatever. Just, yeah. And you know, you got to remember, everyone around you, it's a bit like the George Lucas syndrome with the prequels, is that, yeah, fucking, I'm Ridley Scott. Yeah, you're lucky to be working with me. I'm Ridley Scott. Yeah, calm down. Yeah, autographs, calm down. Kind of like that. So whatever he says goes. No one's going to say, Ridley, that's fucking stupid, you mong. They'll just leave him to it because Ridley Scott makes gold. Remember that. Ridley Scott makes gold. He can't do no wrong. Oh, he can. He fucking can. So, Ridley Scott can't do no wrong. They'll just write a story, whatever. Just make something. Make something quickly, writing man, so I can shoot it. Because that's what I do. I shoot stuff. Make it magic, man. And Ridley Scott has always said in the making of Alien that he wanted, back then, he said, I wanted holograms and screens, basically Blade Runner. I wanted holograms and screens and real future. I understand why he wants that. But he said, we didn't have the money for that with Alien. We had to just build shit out of keyboards and crap. And it made an aesthetic. When you're restricted like that, you go, well, I have to just do it shit. Just have to do it. Not the plexiglass little thin screens that look amazing, projectors, all this shit, lasers and all this stuff. The blue laser that made the silo blue light was from fucking next door because they were doing the gig. It's like, even the high-tech stuff, it was like, no, plaster of Paris, goo, fiberglass, more goo, KY jelly, bits of paint, blah, 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 right? And it created an aesthetic. It created the Alien aesthetic, this retro. It wasn't retro. It was retro-futuristic because we now look back. Because at the time, it's like, that's futuristic-ish, but it's not much different than we've got today. And obviously, as then things progress, it looks old and dated, but we just call it this retro. I love the style of it, right? It is a style. It's like, Impressionism or fucking surrealism. It's got its own style. And I love it. And a lot of people do. The wankers from Alien Isolation, from Creative Assembly, they knew. They like it. It's like the tram in the Sevastopol station feels like it belongs. The corridors, the steps, the ward, the hospital in Alien Isolation. It feels like if you went to Earth in the alien world, that it looked kind of like that. Love it. Thank you. It's great. I love it. And then Ridley Scott's just like, nah, fuck that. Now, there's this argument all the time of, was Prometheus meant to be a prequel, or was it not? Oh, absolutely. It's very hard to find now evidence of it, but my God, were they pumping the Alien prequel from Ridley Scott. The Alien prequel. Ridley Scott finally dips his toe back into the Alien universe. It was everywhere. Of course it was, because they're using that name and Ridley Scott, the tie-in between the two. You know, it's literally this, right? It's literally this. See that? See how you're trying to... Do you like Predator or Alien or both? You're trying to link the two big names, the IPs. You're trying to link them together and say, look, wow, Ridley Scott, Alien. Bang, we're finally getting what we want, fans. Oh, no, we didn't. This is why... This is the problem with humans. They think they know what is what, and it's because they sold it. They think that Ridley Scott made Alien. So when Ridley Scott says he's doing a prequel and it's going to be space jockey shit, everyone shits, including me. Oh, I shit. I was thinking, there is no way that Ridley Scott is going to fuck this up, because it's only down. When you've made Alien, you can either do as good or down. What more could you do? It's good or down. There is no up, right? Because Alien has... It was at the time, with very little money, and the prestige of it, and the first of its kind, and all this shit. It would be incredible if you could top Alien. Holy fuck, how could you top Alien? So, collectively... there's just the match it or down. Very close to it. And, you know, if it's near it, it's not as... Like Aliens. Alien and Aliens are very similar, right? And I've heard people say stupid shit like, but Alien is a horror sci-fi and Aliens is an action sci-fi. You can't compare genres. Yes, you can. Of course you can compare genres. You fucking idiot. That's in your head, right? These are people trying to survive an alien encounter in the same universe. It's got more shit. What are you talking about, action? There's no action in Alien. None. Running around with a flamethrower when there's all these alarms going off. Climbing down tunnels, launching a flamethrower off, trying to kill an alien. Yeah, the music might be suspenseful and all the rest of it, and they might have done a better job of scaring the shit out of you, but are you telling me that Alien is... What do you mean? What do you mean horror? Horror? What makes a horror? It's horrible. Both are. What are you fucking talking about? It's like, well, there's guns in Aliens. So, you can... I don't understand what that... Oh, there's guns, therefore you can't compare these films. What are you fucking talking about? What are you actually talking... I even saw someone say that Terminator and Terminator 2 can't be compared to each other because one's a horror and one's an action film. What the fuck? Of course you can. Of course you can. Of course you can compare the two. Which one's a better shot film? Which one has more realistic lines and which one has more fucking one-liner chuck-away lines? Of course you can. Which one has bigger holes in the story? Of course you can compare them. You can compare fucking Aliens to The Exorcist or The Godfather or fucking Ice Age. Of course you can compare them. You can't compare them on the same... Which one's more gory? Well, you can compare them, yeah. Ice Age has none. You can still compare them, though, because you can still say that's a good film and that's not, and that's a good film and that's not. But anyway, what we're talking about is ease of comparison. It's easier to compare two films that have got a lot more horror elements in them, or horrible elements in them. So, we were all buzzing. I sat down and watched that film. I remember it very, very clearly. And came out just going, well, that was shit. It was immediate. This wasn't like a film where, oh, yeah, you're buzzing, come back out and think about it after a while, see it again later on DVD or whatever and go, this isn't as good as I was hoping. No, this was instant. I came out of the pictures after watching Prometheus and I was not fucking happy. Not happy at all. And that wasn't me, you're just absorbing it. It's all hitting you at once. That wasn't even me thinking about what I'm going to discuss in this film. It was just watching it. I just absorbed it and went, and it was all, it's just, you drink it in, and then you see the engineer, and then I'm fucking, no, you're all right. I'm fucking. Well, actually, it was when we'll get there. So, Ridley Scott, ego-driven, made something that was a load of shit. Now, I'm going to try and convince you that this is one of the worst films ever made, because it was in a unique position. Not many times in film history has someone made a film and then come back decades later and had another crack at that story. Blade Runner, well, weirdly enough, that's Ridley Scott again. It'd be like, imagine if Tarantino did Kill Bill 3. But we're talking decades later. Number 2 is, Alien isn't Kill Bill because you can't compare genres. Yes, of course you can. Alien isn't Kill Bill because Kill Bill was just a film. Alien changed the way that people saw science fiction. It was a milestone film. It really did change things. It also showed you that you didn't really have to spend that much money to make one of the best films ever. Like, Jaws costs a lot of fucking money, where Alien didn't cost too much money. It was, don't get me wrong, it wasn't £4 or anything, but it was a cheapish film. So, and not only that, is your main star was a woman that no one knew. It kind of proved a lot, did Alien. It did a lot. It sparked off an entire franchise, introduced horror into sci-fi, mixing the two things, which is, like I say, a loosey-goosey thing, really. On the mainstream, done really well, not B-movie, looked fucking fantastic. Of course it wins Oscars. So, you got to remember, that was also strange, that a horror film, or a film that was that gory, could even be the Academy would even pay attention. Not that that means anything nowadays, because the Academy means fuck all. But you can't also blame them, because the films that people make nowadays are complete dog shit. So with all that put aside, let's talk about, very briefly, and then we'll get into it, why this is one of the worst films ever made, right, is that you have to do certain things with a sci-fi film. One, you've got to do science, right? 2, the story has got to make sense. And 3, right, it's a prequel. Right? It's a prequel. Is it prequel or prequel? Quarter-quel. It's prequel. Any road. Oh, it's alright, my brain. We have this film, Prometheus. Not about the title. I think that it's been, a bit sucking your own cock, intellectual nonsense. This film gets the science wrong. The story is junk. It doesn't match anything in the things that it's meant to precede. The acting is lazy. A lot of it's lazy. Things happen for no reason. There are open-ended. There are open plot threads that can never be answered. No attempt was made to be answered. You've got to remember, we look at this Prometheus. Covenant exists, and the third one will never exist. Covenant exists. All of it, it's just mopped up. So what we've got in Prometheus is now mopped up. I remember at the time people saying, these will all be answered in the second one. Fucking no, it wasn't. Nothing was. The only thing that was answered in the second one was this. What happened to David and Elizabeth? That's the only thing that was answered. And the answer was shit, right? It was bad. So, a film of this prestige, this is the sequel, this is a prequel, but, it's a follow-on, by the same director. We've never had this before with such a milestone film, such a groundbreaking film made by the same guy, comes back and has another crack at it. And he has another crack at it 30 years later, right? With all that time to think, all that time to dream up, you've got 30 years to dream up a story, for fuck's sake. We've got better CGI, better latexes, better set design. He had more money thrown at him, all of this kind of shit, right? They would wait. They would be like, yeah, let's just get this right. Let's fucking get this right. This really, really, you've got the choice of all the actors in the world. Who's not going to want to work with this? Who's not no one's going to say no. So you have basically got you're in a better position than you were the first one. You are a seasoned director who's done great things. You're older, you're wiser, you've got more people, you've got more money, you've got more influence, you've got anyone will fucking be in the film. You've got you see where I'm going with this, and then you crash it so fucking hard into the ground. If we looked at this just from a writing, don't even watch the film, read the script, it's junk. Fucking junk. If you include all the bits they did and didn't shoot, and all the bits that they did and didn't shoot in Alien, it's fucking junk. This is Prometheus worse than Alien 3? Yes. Is it worse than Alien 4? Yes. Is it worse than AVP? Yes. And I'll prove that in the AVP versus Prometheus video. AVP, the film, is better than Prometheus. And I know people go, that's not right. I will prove it to you. That's for a different video. Right, so let's just crack on. So the premise starts, it opens in Scotland. And one of my main rules, right, is don't do Earth. Don't do Earth. Why? Because we need to have this sense of isolation, claustrophobia, space. It's very dangerous. It very, it's like the abyss. Been at the bottom of the sea. It's quite scary. Been out there, isolated in space. This isn't the Martian, where the sun's there, and it looks like it might be warm. It's freezing on Mars, but it looks like it might be warm. It's dark. You turn the lights off and everything goes black. It's dead silent. It's cold, lonely, dead silent. This is why LV-426 wasn't this, oh, fucking hell, it's Kansas. You know what I mean? Because that would ruin the mood. It's all these little tiny things that make a difference. The fact that some of the machinery has a bit of an oil leak. Right? Corridors, grills, fluorescent tube lights, warning signs, buttons. It's that very... It's got a feel to it. So you don't do Earth. The moment you do Earth, you go, That's back to, you could try and use it as a contrast, but in Aliens, they show you the Earth and then take it away. You know what I mean? And I also think it's a good reason why they removed the Ripley sat in the park bit, even though it's artificial. That could actually go towards that feeling, because it's like, we're in a park. No, we're not. No, we're not. This is all fake. It's all plastic. Ugh. Brilliant. So, we start off in Scotland. I don't even know why this scene was shot. Remove it. Remove it. Just remove that shot. Good. But they're sat on this hill in Scotland, and they've got some tents up, archaeologists, and they're scrabbling around in this cave, which no one's found, which I find quite, whatever. And they see this sign, and it's a figure like this, pointing to these, whatever, like this. And you're like, oh, is that what we're looking for? That's what we're looking for. And I was like, wait a minute. Straight away, my spidey senses started going, wait a minute. What? Oh no, here we go. And then it hard cuts. It hard cuts to this ship, and we get the usual spiel. And I've already lost the feeling of Alien. I've already lost it. But I'm like, come on, we'll give this a go. And then we see an android just walking about. And this made me think, wait a minute, why is David just walking around? Why is he? And they try to characterise him. He's watching some old British, I think it was Zulu, I think he was watching. But he's watching some things and he's trying to mimic what they say. I don't know if he's mimicking it. It doesn't quite make sense. He's just kind of, you know, the problem with Scotland is it's full of Scots. And he's just, you know, repeating lines from this film. And they show him kind of like maintaining the ship, but Bishop never did this. I find it strange. Now, I know Bishop is well in the future, you know, but it still just felt strange that he's riding around on a bicycle. And I thought, it says science ship, and they've got a gymnasium, a fucking gymnasium. And I'm like, why? Oh, don't worry. There's a good reason why. But it's like, I know it's meant to be, but it's meant to be a science vessel. It's supposedly Peter Whalen's science vessel that he absolutely loves, right? It's his pleasure cruise. But I was like, but when does he ever play basketball? What is it for the crew? But he doesn't seem to give a shit of the crew, and they don't seem to do anything. And the whole setup is just weird. It's like, if I'm trying, imagine there just being a basketball court in the Nostromo, or in the space station. Well, you see, in the space station, Alien 4 Resurrection, they have a basketball court, and I'm like, but yeah, it's a giant station where people live. This is a science vessel. People don't live here. But then do they? Because Holloway and Shaw have proper like quarters. It's like a pleasure barge. You know what I mean? It's like a cruise. I don't know. I found the whole thing very weird because you're not really giving us a sense of what you did in the original. Now, Prometheus is well before Alien. It doesn't show. We've got holograms and we've got all of this technology. And it's not just better than Alien by a bit. It is, put it this way, in Alien, we have things better than they have in Alien. Screen-wise, etc., etc. We have better, what you'd call handheld human technology. To a degree, because you could argue industrial stuff isn't like that. Industrial stuff is thick and it's got armoured casings on and screens and stuff. Military stuff is still kind of like that. Hardware in industrial shit. So you're like, okay, so Alien is... Just say Alien is equivalent to what we have today with a lot of things still. And they also have a fucking spaceship that can go faster than the speed of light. So Alien is still ahead. It's this retro thing. Did anyone tell... Did Ridley Scott ever see Alien? Did he ever... Has he done so much cocaine since 1979? He just can't fucking remember. I don't think he's thinking of the same film. I think he's thinking of Blade Runner or something. Because it's so detached. The Prometheus is this beautiful, clean lines. Everything's got this orange, weird glow to it. This yellowy, sickly glow to it. You know, a lot of the visors and stuff. There's full-screen helmets that have got super skimpy sex suits, where in the Nostromo they're wearing basically cricket outfits, cricket padding. But, you know, in the Nostromo, the gases went out the thing, and it's like, oh yeah, but these sexy suits. I'm like, these sexy suits have got displays on the inside of the screens. I'm like, what the fuck? I know that this is meant to be Peter Whalen's sex cruise science ship, but fuck me. It doesn't feel like it's in the same universe at all. None of it aligns. None of it matches up. It's really, really different. Super, super different. And what I also found weird is this. Alien was filmed in 1979 and everyone's smoking. Fucking have that. Everyone. Brett's smoking. Lambert's smoking. Ripley's smoking. I don't think Dallas did, and I don't think Parker did. Ian Holmes didn't, and Kane didn't. But half the crew, just say, are smoking. In Prometheus, no one is smoking, apart from a guy who's got a little chuff thing in his helmet. It's like, oh, is that tobacco? Oh, you absolute rebel. We're all vegetarian nowadays. It was kind of like the 2012 or 2010 sensibilities plugged into Prometheus that predates Alien. Oh, okay then. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. 20 years before Alien. It's like, you've got something wrong here. I'd make the fuckers smoke. Or just have a stick in the mouth like that and CGI the smoke on it. You know what I mean? Or just get them to smoke. Fuck it. A lot of actors will have in the contracts that they will smoke in a film if required. I just don't... Why wouldn't you have them smoking? It doesn't feel... And you might say, well, they're not working class. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you sure about that? Because, yes, one or two of them do have PhDs, but a lot of them seem to be just grunts in Prometheus. I don't... But yeah, so the aesthetic is you see the ship, and you're just like, what the fuck? And I'm talking about these things before we get to the details. But yeah, the aesthetic is completely off. I know it's meant to be more advanced, but fuck me, you have really, really, really fucked that up. Weirdly enough, in Alien Earth, they got the aesthetic better because everyone complained about Prometheus and Covenant. Covenant's the same thing, same problem. So, they wake everyone up, and this is a problem with Alien Earth, with the Maginot about the sleep pods. This is the state-of-the-art pleasure cruise, although waking up out of cryo seems to be a real pain in the arse. Everyone's like, fucking hell, yeah, I'm alright. Vickers seems to be stressed out, so she's dripped away into the thing, and she's doing press-ups because obviously she feels like shit, and she's trying to push through it, like a hangover. You know what I mean? And then they go, and it's like, oh, not another breakfast scene. Please do something different. Please do. It's like in Alien, there's a breakfast scene. Awesome. I love it. Breakfast in space, why not? Instead of Tiffany's in space instead. Aliens... Yeah, different setup though. Long table, loads of Marines, bit of introduction between people. Yeah, go on then. We'll let that go. It's an introduction to people and people can have a discussion. Okay, cool. At least there's some good dialogue in Aliens. Alien 3, no breakfast for anyone because that film is really, really sad. Alien Resurrection, stayed away from the breakfast table. Thank God for that. I think they pretty much did, yeah. I haven't seen Alien Resurrection in quite a while. And then Prometheus, breakfast table. They didn't do it in Covenant. I was quite impressed that they didn't do it in Covenant. They do a table-ish kind of scene where they're chatting. And then Alien Earth, let's do a breakfast scene. Yay! They didn't do it in Romulus, thank God for that. So, breakfast is off the table for most of these things. But we're doing it in Alien or in Prometheus, and automatically I can say I don't like half of this crew. They do... There's like weird trying to get to know each other. And I'm like, look... How did this happen? You've all been employed, and then you all surely turn up at the Wayland place, and you all have dinner, breakfast, celebrate we're going on this mission. And then you all know each other, get in the pods, set off. Surely that's what happened. They go on like this is the first time they've met each other. It's like, but you did get in the pods, right? Or do you just turn up, don't talk to anyone, get in the pod, lay down, go to sleep, and they all come at different times? I don't understand. You got to, this is meant to be. We're doing that whole we don't know each other bullshit thing. I don't know why. I don't know why we're doing this. But they're all trying to make friends and handshakes and all this kind of weird shit. Don't understand. So, they all do the breakfast bollocks, and then they all get in the sports hall. Now we know why there's a sports hall, because we need a giant room that's too big for them to show off some hologram. They get a Rubik's Cube. Oh, discount Rubik's Cube did look... The thing is, it's like this. When you're making a prop, and someone goes, that looks like a discount Rubik's Cube. Don't make it. Because people are going to see that, and they're going to go, that looks a bit shit and lazy. You get what I mean? Why don't you just have a remote in his hand and just do that? Put this thing on the floor you can kick or stand on. Why would you do that? That's retarded. Why hasn't this basketball court got emitters in it? Like, holographic emitters? I don't understand. Surely you used this place for presentations before. Or do you use the presentation hall down the road next to the swimming baths and the theatre? Because you've got all of them, I'm sure you have, because it's a fucking pleasure cruise. It's got a fucking mall as well. Anyway, so far, I'm like, this feels bad, right? The whole film feels bad. Maybe what happens later might make up for it. This might be just yeah, go on, get over it. You know, let's just, you know, it's a bit like Aliens, where it's all great. Then we see the Marines. Then we get a few cheesy lines. You know, none have enough to wake up to your face, Drake. Wow, James. Wow. Wow. You know, look into my eye. Still don't know what that means. The way he said it. Okay, Al Matthews. I have actually seen a couple of Al Matthews interviews. He is a bit of an eccentric weirdo, or was. And also, he's in The Fifth Element, if you didn't know. So they get into this sports hall, and this is when I knew. This is when I was in the pictures, in the cinemas. We call it the pictures here, if you're not from the UK. And this is when I knew this is shit. This is how I knew it was shit. They turn on the Wayland thing, and you've just got this... I don't know why they didn't just use an old man. Just use an old man. It'd be much more convincing, much more everything. Hi, I'm Peter Wayland. And I immediately did think Alien vs. Predator. I'm Peter Wayland, and I'm here... Come on, you little shit. And I'm here with my dog. I don't know why the holographic projector fucking recorded the dog, but whatever. And it looks like he's on Mars or something, because we're trying to be cool. And he's like, you lot come to fucking wait, I'm walking. This is movie time, by the way. And he's like, yeah, I'll be dead by the time you get this, probably. Oh. No one clapped. No one cares. And, you know, long as man, all this fucking pseudo-nonsense. Right? It's all bollocks. And you might say, what do you mean by pseudo-intellectual bullshit? What I mean is that sometimes a film is trying to say something that is intellectual. Unbreakable, for example. Or we'll stick within the franchise. What is Alien 3 trying to say? Alien 3 is trying to say things have to come to an end. Kill it if you have to. You know, what is Alien trying to say? Alien is trying to say that the universe is dangerous and does not give a shit, and that individuals in the face of scientific exploration, there's billions of people, you're not really that important. Maybe at a push. You know, you can have a film that tries to say something, like Forrest Gump, right? Just because you're a bit retarded, a bit special, you haven't gone 100% retarded, you haven't gone all the way retarded, you haven't gone full retard, but, you know, special, yes, retarded, no, as Robert Downey Jr. says. Forrest Gump, you know, you can, even if you're not the ideal normal human being, you can still achieve great things. He's trying to say something about humanity, or whatever. You know, Star Wars, like the original 3 ones, are trying to say, no matter how far someone has fucked up, there may be a chance for redemption. Or it's also trying to say, you just threw that old man down that furnace thing and it blew up, but that didn't kill him. What that says is that they will always find a way to redo something that used to be good and make it shitter. That's what that's trying to say. So, but in all seriousness, right, it's when you start going, oh, yes, well, man has always strived to find out who created him, and we are going to try and find out because some bitch convinced me that this cave painting is aliens. And we really need to understand the creation of humankind and what that means to us to explore the stars. And our forefathers looked up. All right, cool. What have you actually said? Yeah. You're just telling me stuff that basic humans understand. That, yes, the meaning of life seems to be an endeavour we keep on chasing. Will we ever get a solution? Who fucking knows? You haven't really said anything about anything, right? It's just trying to sound clever. They're hoping... You see, people said things about Alien, right? Just say. That's what it is. You know, that, oh, you really captured this, right? And this is what Ridley Scott's heard his entire life. Your film encapsulates being lonely in outer space, in space, and you know, in space, you really truly can't. You know, you can't hear someone scream, and you capture the claustrophobia and the paranoia of like the android. You don't know who's who, and all this stuff comes out, which is people reading beyond the script. Right, the script plants some seeds. And then we'll just analyse, or not overanalyze it, but you can take it. Oh, I wonder what that means. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, imagine. And you can do that. And that's when art is good. That's when writing is good. Because you can extrapolate. Actually, the best example is probably how much Blade Runner has been analysed. And I don't want to get into that because that is an entire 7 videos in on itself. But Blade Runner is just asking, you know, if you are artificially created, your genes are created, your DNA is created, and you're born in a process that is organic, are you really a human? Because you don't come from the same tree that we do? Because it's completely an offshoot? You know, and other questions. What happens if you aren't what you think you are? Vanilla Sky is another film that asks questions. A lot of Philip K. Dick stuff is these questions. But it comes down to the discussion is about fuck all. You just say all this stuff, Ridley, but you don't answer any of it. They're not intelligent questions because you were never going to try and answer them. So Wayland does his meh, 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 and says, I'll leave you with these two. And then we get hit by a load of what is it? It's science, but it's not. Here are the two knobheads come on and they go, oh, thank you. Clap, clap, clap. No one claps. Right, okay. See you later, Wayland. Right, Wayland is not dead. He's on the ship hiding. What the fuck all this was for, nobody knows. Never gets answered. We'll get back to that. So, just to remember that Wayland is not dead. This whole thing was a ruse. Why? Don't know. They can't go home. They're stuck on this ship. There is their ride home. If he's alive or dead, nobody cares. So why do it? Don't know. Nobody knows why. Wayland is old and he came on this trip to see the trip through. He likes exploring, but he's in a quite delicate state, so until we find something, he's in his cryo bed. Oh, okay, what was wrong with that? So, we say, oh, here's holograms. Here's Egypt, Samoa, Mexico, recently in Scotland. The exact same picture. Now, dude, for this to work, this has to be, these stars, just to make the point, I'll do 3. These stars have to be the exact same angles and the exact same distance from each other. Alright? All of these dimensions have to be exactly the same. What I mean by that is, every single cave painting has to have, these all have to be, just say if that's, I don't know, what's that, 58 degrees, right? that between this star, that angle has to be 58 degrees. And this one, this has to be 6 to 8 to, 6.2. No, don't do my maths because my hypotenuse is probably miles out. Oh, no, it'd be even longer, won't it, dickhead? This will be 8.2, just say, whatever. The square of the square of the square of the square. But what I'm saying is these proportions have to be perfect. Why? Well, because what we're trying to do in our hypothesis is say that all of these paintings are exactly the same, even though they're separated by thousands of years. Right? They're not only separated by thousands of years, they're separated by different cultures thousands of miles apart. The other side of the fucking world. One's in bloody fucking Ratatouille. Rapa Nui. Fucking hell. Easter Island. And, the other one's the other side. Japan somewhere. Fuck me. And then fucking Antarctica. Fuck it, why not? And Greenland. Right? They're all separated in time and space. So for you to say these are the same things, they have to be extremely similar. They have to look basically like this. For you to then use them as directions to a star system, they have to be perfect. Because all of these things have been found on the same planet, made by the same kind of animal, human, right? Cool, okay, we can jump to the conclusion that they are all basically influenced by the same being, right? But to line these stars up with an actual star system, no, that's not right. That's not right. And you can actually see when they show you the star map, it's Orion. You can see Orion there, and it's just beyond Orion, where it's meant to be, somewhere where we can't see. And they say the humans on Earth at that time could not possibly see this star system. But like I said before, bitch, if I just poke 5 holes and go like this on a star chart, I will find stars that, it depends how accurate. Get me a picture. Get me some of the Rubin telescope pictures. I'll fucking put that over and find any fucking 5 stars for you. Now, this is the bit which is confusing. Because they say system. Right. Is it 5 or 6? Let's just say it's 5. I can't remember how many it is. Is it 5 stars or is it 5 planets? Because it can't be 5 planets because fucking planets move. It can't also be stars because in 10,000 years, some of these things go back 12,000 years. Stars move because we move. That's why they move. Not only are these stars, and we'll go with 3 again. Not only have these stars got different velocities in different directions, but we have a velocity. And because of parallax, because they're all different distances apart, even if you move like that, it won't be the 10,000 years is quite a while. 12,000 years, I think one of them says. I think one of them might even say 24 when you look through all the holograms. No, none of this is science. None of this makes sense. None of it. So, let's just say if it does, right? Let's say if we extrapolate, and the only star system it can be is this one. Whatever a system means, whatever this system is it planets or stars? Don't know. It doesn't make it quite clear. Okay, then. It can't be planets, because planets go around stars. They'll be all different fucking... So, is it a pentagonal system? Fucking don't know. Instead of a binary and a trinary and a quadrilogy, a whatever they would call a 5-star system. So, not only should these all be different for each one, they have to be extremely accurate, right? Down to a 0.1%, 100%, something like that, to be convincing. She then goes on and says, oh yeah, it's an invitation. Is it? I want to know who drew these. Was it the aliens that drew these, or is it humans drawing these? And how did the aliens show? It's like this. The aliens show me they got this. Oh, look, 5 stones that float in the air. And I go, and take photographs with my eyes because I've got to reproduce it perfectly. No, I went, oh yeah, cool. And then later that day, the next day, I drew 4 random stars. They're not going to be the same, are they, you fuckwits? Maybe it's like 2001, Matt, where they project the image into their minds and they can reproduce it. Okay, then. Let's go with that. Let's go with the aliens. We're writing the film for them. Let's go with the aliens projected this idea into their minds of exactly the relationship between these stars. He's always pointing the same way, though. I find that quite funny. I've even got the moustache, look. Any road. So he's doing the Zig Heil, right? And maybe if you actually join these stars up, it is a swastika. I didn't actually even think about that. But, so they do this thing where they go, okay, so you haven't convinced me yet, keep on going. She's like, oh, well, it's an invitation. You're pointing to something. Invitation. It's an invitation. Okay, then, James, what else is it? By who? We call them engineers. Oh, okay. Because someone says, what did the engineer? Laughing. Because that's what this person should do. They should laugh at the stupid bitch. Because they engineered us. And you're like, look, I haven't brought my fucking oven mitts, so I don't want to fame out. The face palm I'd need to give myself is probably actually going to break my orbital socket, so I'm just not going to bother. I haven't brought my oven mitt, so I'm not going to smack myself that hard in the fucking face. Fucking sorry, what? Should she be wearing a fucking forever helmet? I think that hair is just to cover up the fact that she's got a fucking head brace on. Fucking Christ. They engineered us, and then they laugh and they go, oh, so you're just going to dismiss Darwinism. Why didn't she just go, yeah? You know what I mean? Now, the whole point of the film, you might have noticed there's 2 things I haven't mentioned. I haven't mentioned the engineer drinking the shit. There's no need. Because there's no need. And I also haven't mentioned the sequence where you can see the DNA be stripped and then re-put together because there's no need, because it doesn't make any sense. And I also didn't mention the fact that she's in hypersleep with a cross. Do you know why? Because it's not relevant to the fucking film. You could say, well, because it comes to this bit, I have faith. No, bitch, that's a delusion. Right? None of this makes sense. Stars move. The accuracy. What are they pointing at? Why is this figure... Why would they do a picture of a star system that we can't possibly see? Well, Matt, you're an idiot. You don't understand science fiction, do you? The reason why they made a star system that we can't see is because we won't be able to get there with our current technology. When we do have enough technology to find out where this star system is, we'll be able to get there. I'm like, oh, okay then. To get where? Oh, to that bioengineered weapon storage facility. What the fuck is wrong with you? like, put it this way. But these cave paintings are up to like 5,000 years old, 2,000 years old. Some of them, it says on them holograms. So they were still leaving these messages 2,000 years. They were still coming to Earth 2,000 years ago and saying, here you go, write this on the wall so you're fucking... So when you evolve, you will... When you basically get better technology and all this, you'll be able to come and see our weapons facility. Oh, okay, cool. When they date the bodies, which we'll get to, when they date the bodies, they've been dead for thousands of years. Oh, this is all kinds of dumb. All kinds of dumb. Fuck. Any road. So, yes. So, the aliens are hoping that one day when we can see this star system, we'll be able to put 2 and 12 together and work out exactly where this is. Should have used pulsars, you retards. Should have used pulsars, not just a fucking star system. I know it's visual for the audience because the audience are retards. No one cares, let's move on. You didn't have to make this convoluted. They could just spot something. Replace the Prometheus with a mining vessel. Forget Peter Weyland. He's not required. He's not required in the story. We don't need Peter Weyland to be there. Why can't we just have some guys who send a probe out, and when the probe sends a thing back saying, yes, I've found loads of iridium, and you go, okay then, so they go out there to mine it. This is the mining crew on a ship called the Prometheus. And then they stumble on this facility with all this shit in and make it good, not shit. Anyway, so they all laugh at her, and rightly so. Elizabeth needs slapping, never mind just laughing at her. You need to slap her to the floor and then laugh at her. Then we jump into action. Holy shit, we're here. They don't do an orbit. They don't do a polar orbit, scan the surface, get all the data they can, get all the aerial photography, all this shit. No. They just, fuck it. We don't know where we're going. You can cover shitloads more ground when you're in orbit, right? You can do an orbit of a planet or a moon. It's a moon. You can orbit a moon like that. Maybe the size. I think LV 223. I think LV 223 is about the size of Earth because they say they have a mountain bigger than Everest, and to support such a structure and all that kind of shit, you'd need a planet about the size of Earth. So it's a moon the size of Earth that has an atmosphere that's around a gas giant that isn't irradiated to fuck. Because if you knew anything about gas giants, you'd know about the radiation belts they have around them that are extremely deadly. But we don't care because we're kind of loose science in it. Okay, cool. And they just get there and they just descend. Let's go. Let's descend. That's it. Before we do anything, just before they descend, they have a conversation with Vickers. And Vickers says, if you find anything, stay the fuck away. And they're like, why? And it's like, well, because we're paying for this bitch. It's our discovery, not yours. But science! It's like, you're an archaeologist. This would be xenoarchaeology. So you're halfway there. But yes, they are paying. She says $1 trillion. They are paying $1 trillion for this journey, which makes me think the money's fucked again. $1 trillion for this journey, but the androids cost $6 billion. Since when a journey costs more than... I don't understand. I don't understand why this costs so much. Did they build the Prometheus just to come here? Maybe. Who knows? $1 trillion, that seems like a lot to me. They've always had a problem with the money in the Alien universe. I know they say adjusted dollars in Aliens, which is fine, actually. That's actually fine. In adjusted, because we don't know what adjusted means. So, anyway, so they do all that, and... yeah, so Vickers is telling them, don't do whatever you want, and then Shaw's pissed off because they can't do what they want. And I'm like, no, that makes sense, bitch. Why would you think? And then they have the machine, the bed, the patriarchy bed. It only does men. Oh. I think that was meant to be a hint that it's Weyland's, not hers. I don't understand it. I don't know why you'd have a machine that only does men, unless you're actually trying to be a cunt, but Peter Weyland might be trying to be a cunt, who knows. So they go down to the surface, and then they just think, right, do you know what we're going to do is we're going to slowly just fly around and search. I'm like, sorry, what? Sorry, what? You're just going to fly around and search by eyeball? Anyway, they come to this valley, and they go, oh, look, there's a temple-looking thing over there. Looks like a tit, and that one over there. And then we can see God doesn't paint in straight line, build stuff in straight lines. No, there's loads of things in nature that are straight, you fucking idiots. Straight as a dirt track would be. Now, you think you've come here because there's aliens that are advanced that have visited Earth. So do you know what you do? You go and park on their driveway. Don't go and park on their driveway, you fucking idiot. They literally, there's the road, let's go and park on it. It's like, what are you actually doing? And I've noticed that there was no chance. Like, if you see something, surely you send out a radio communication. Like, hello, this is the USS Prometheus, or whatever it's called, the SS Prometheus, where, you know, humans or something. Maybe someone should have thought of this. Yeah, you know, hiya, we're, yeah, hi, We got your message. Someone told us, this silly bitch over here, told us this was an invitation. Hope we come in peace. How do you know it's not a fucking invasion? They might just kill you straight. The whole idea, it's almost like they know it's abandoned. You know what I mean? Like they know it's gone. So they park on the driveway, on the road between the two. You don't know if this thing has this thing where it shuttles like a fucking high-speed train across it. You don't know what it is. Who cares, eh? How did it even make a road? I don't know what made the road. Just a road. It looks like a road. So then they go and land there, and it's weird. He has to say, God doesn't build in straight lines, and then the overlay, the holographic overlay goes over the road. It's like, oh, is the computer that fucking slow, is it? Did you have to wait for him to say something? And then they land, and then they suit up, get in the buggies. At least they got in the buggies, eh? And then they drive over like it's an invasion force. And then there's that scene just before they set off. There's two things that are said, which are dumb. The dumb lines. Especially if you read the answers, you go, are you trying to say that this doctor of archaeology is dumb? No. Well, what are you trying to say then? The lines go like this. She goes, this is a scientific mission. Why are you bringing a gun? And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Why would we possibly ever want to bring a weapon with us? You're discussing that now. We're suiting up and you're discussing that now. Now, there is a discussion both ways. They should go armed, but not on show. So the weapons should be stored away across the chest or something. So their arms are out. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be walking around tooled up because you look aggressive, which could fuck everything up. On top of that, you have this scenario where she's dumb, going, why are you bringing guns? Oh, I don't know. It's a situation we have no idea. There might be fucking violent fucking wildlife for all we fucking know, you stupid bitch. So it's stupid both ways. But it also makes us... His comeback was pretty good. She's like, there's no weapons on this scientific thing. He goes, yeah, good luck with that, bitch. And she's like, it's like, oh, I already don't like Elizabeth. Elizabeth's a cunt. Let's hope she's not the protagonist, eh? And then there's another dumb line where Holloway says to David, hey, David, why are you wearing the suit? You don't even breathe air or whatever. And then it's like, he says, you made me look this way. I'm meant to look human, so therefore, why am I wearing clothes? I don't get ashamed. Why are you so stupid, human man? I thought you were a doctor. But he's also a sarky twat, where the andron's like, you're a knob. And it's like, both seem weird. Yes, Holloway is retarded, which is, surely the writers are trying to make Holloway look retarded. Well done, you've succeeded. But also, David Snark, who programmed him this way? This seems also weird. It's all strange. It's all weird. It's obvious. Like, they're trying to do this thing to make it obvious that David's an android. It's like, he's just a cunt. And people said, and I don't like this, people said, David Fassbender, Michael Fassbender, not David. Michael Fassbender, David Fassbender, that's what we should call him. Michael Fassbender did an excellent job. Did he? Really? Like, really? What? Tell me what he did. What did he do to convince you he was amazing? He just spoke his lines with very little inflection and very little anything. And people might say, yeah, but that's the genius. It's like, but I can do that. I can talk like this. Hello, my name's David. What would you like, Holloway? Acting. Turning something off isn't acting, right? I don't get it. There's nothing special in that. There's nothing special in that. There's nothing, at least Brent Spiner, when he did Data, does that. And his eyes. He does a lot of interesting. He does a lot of nuanced little things that add to the performance that weren't in episode 1 of Star Trek. He's made them over time. He's developed. You know, Worf has a lot of mannerisms that aren't natural ones. These are people who are adding little nuanced bits to their performance to make their performance seem more convincing. You know, if you see Lance What's-His-Face, who does Bishop, he's very different in real life to who he is as Bishop. He's very open-eyed, childlike as Bishop. It's not an outstanding performance, it's just not the guy normally. So, are we all clapping like seals for that? Fucking Ian Holmes didn't do anything. He just behaved like Ash, the character. He didn't do anything robot-y until he's getting his head knocked off. You get what I mean? It's like there's nothing that Ash was more convincing because he's an undercover unit. He's meant to replicate humans to the point where you don't even know he's a robot. Nice, I like it. It's almost like with Bishop, they give him stupid hair to make him look more like an android, which I always thought was a bit strange, but whatever. So, you know, that's the suck his dick on it. I don't understand. Yes, he's the best acting part. In other words, he's just a charismatic guy, but I don't think it's an overwhelming, excellent performance. He does a lot more acting in X-Men. In the X-Men stuff, he does a shitload more acting. So really, this is just a meh performance. There's nothing there for him really to get his teeth into. There's a bit more for him to get his teeth into in Covenant, and he rarely does that, really. I would love he's breaking down in Covenant, so you'd love this. All of a sudden, he just has a moment where he's, and he's a bit manic as an android. That'd be quite cool to play with, but they didn't bother. Fuck it, who cares? They don't care, so why bother? So they then go to this pyramid thing, and it's breaking. No surveys, no pictures. Wow, let's go in. It's like, you want to scan it, right? You want to. People just seem to be randomly walking around. No one seems to be really in control. That's the thing that fucked me off. No one seemed to make the decision of we're doing this, we're doing that. They just randomly just start fucking around like retards. When you're first discovering, Howard Carter going into a tomb, he tells people what everyone's waiting, right? What do I want to do now, Howard? Yeah, remove that next stone. You get what I mean? There's some kind of control. There's a football coach. There's a manager of all of this. You need that, otherwise you start doing stupid shit. Oh, wait a minute. So then, before we go into the spaceship, let's talk about, because I forgot, let's talk about who you bring on this mission. So, we have a geologist. Geologist. Which is weird, because there's one of them in Alien Earth. Oh no, it's not, it's a biologist. Is it a geologist or a biologist? Who fucking knows? We have a geologist. Right, so, a geologist studies the geology of Earth. In other words, the land mass of Earth. Be it volcanism, be it subduction, tectonic plates, be it, igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary rock formations, be it unconformities. Let's just say are these traps or is this a caldera? Fucking you name it, right? Anything to do with zircons and geodes and all this kind of shit. The formation of different mineral layers, weathering, all this kind of stuff, all this kind of shit, right? It's the study, weirdly enough, of Earth. Now, if you go to an alien planet, the chemistry and stuff probably doesn't change too much, right? There's still silica and oxygen and nitrogen and carbon and all the other shit. Fair enough. But the weathering might be different. It depends what it is that's raining down. It might be sulfuric acid. It might be water. It might be fucking ethanol. It might be fucking DCM. Who fucking knows? So you haven't studied every single possible type. It'd be a xenogeologist or an exogeologist. Okay, so they've got the word wrong. It's not that bad, is it, Matt? Why? I love rocks. So why are you here? We're here to... We've been invited to this place. And let's just say this is a star system. Which one is it? They said, oh, and one of these stars has a planet around it. It's like, dude, they all have fucking planets around them. What are you fucking talking about? Let's not go there. Well, no, that is a criticism. Just say these are 5 stars. Which fucking one? Which fucking moon? There's going to be probably about 50, if not 100. Look at how many stars... Nearly every single star we think nowadays has a planet around it. At least 2, or 3, or 4. Fucking Christ. Forget that. Let's just leave that's complete bullshit behind. We'll be there forever. The geologist. Why are you here? Well, I can tell you what this rock is. Cool. We're not here for that. Shit. I love it when you go to investigate the bottom of the Mariana Trench in a submarine that can take those pressures. There's only 4 seats and you bring a geneticist. What? Oh yeah, that makes no fucking sense. And there's a biologist. Weirdly enough, maybe that was the point in Alien Earth when he says the difference between biology and geology. Is it just funny, or is it Noah having a go at Prometheus? I hope it is, because that'd be quite funny. It'd be the one thing he did that was clever, Noah. So we've got biology, he says, and puts his hand out. What the fuck are you here for? Any of you a doctor? We might need that. You know what I mean? Any of you are physicists? Anyone that we might actually fucking need? No. Oh. You know, have we got a translator? And you know, anyone does linguistics? Or David's been doing it. Fair enough, he can process loads of languages and all this shit. Although, all of the languages on Earth have probably got fucking nothing to do with aliens turning up. Unless we think that the aliens also gave us our language, which would be weird because they went to all these cultures and all our languages are completely fucking different. Like, these languages don't have the same fucking root. You look at the language that the Aztecs used, or the Mayans, right? What they're called now. Fucking, what's the name for them? The real name. Mexica. The Mexica people, right? Or the Rapa Nuians, the Easter Islanders. They have these signs. They don't speak the same language. As in, our, like, Indo-European is not related to these languages. These languages are completely fucking different. Completely fucking different. They're not connected in any way. So it can't be a language thing then, but David starts to talk to him, which is fucking retarded, right? You've only just got here. You have nothing to base this on. So David's like, I've been studying loads of languages. Earth languages, fuckhead. You haven't seen the alien language, so you've got nothing to relate it. You don't even know what you're looking at. Fuck me. The Elvish stuff in Lord of the Rings is probably more useful, because that's also fucking random. No linguist, no nothing, right? Yeah, David, we'll give the linguist thing to David, but you thought you'd bring people who would know. Xenobiologist. Maybe they just got the name wrong. Xenogeologist. I don't know why you brought a guy who can sniff different rocks. What fucking difference is that going to make? And these guys have prominent places. You have Elizabeth Shaw and the husband, right, Holloway. Okay, it's their mission, supposedly. And then some other people that aren't related to what we're wanting to do, which is talk to fucking aliens. There's no, like, representative for the company that's really there. Vickers is in the fucking ship. I don't understand. Just go piss around in there, see if we can piss off some aliens. Oh, okay, cool. That's retarded. That's proper retarded. Love it. So, we've got all these people who are coming on this mission for no fucking reason. Anyway, moving on. So, but they go into the ship, and they just say, we're just gonna start walking around. Fuck it. This place looks abandoned. Yeah, but this might be the foyer, you retard. Or the other ones might not be. No one seems to care. Why did they send one team to one but not a team to the other? Have they run out of people or something? Why aren't they being more precautious? Well, because Ridley Scott wrote this film and he knows what the script is, so why would they bother? So they go into... They start walking around and they're looking... Oh, the atmosphere's different in here. Less CO2, all that kind of shit. It's just lucky that there's nothing actually in the air chemically that's not going to fuck them up, but whatever. And then they throw the pups into the air and he makes the map. That's good. You know, that this little ball that shines out this red light might bump into an alien before humans do. This could not go well. This might be seen as a form of aggression. Looks like a fucking hand grenade to me. Looks like a fucking, you know, auto-seeking hand grenade. But we then have the dumb. No one said... He just takes his helmet off. I'd be fine. Takes his helmet off. Pathogens, yeah, we've been through this with the Covenant one. It's just fucking dumb. It's all kinds of stupid, isn't it? You know, it smells like knob cheese. And he dies, right? That's what should have fucking happened. And it's just like... So they all take their helmets off. I don't understand that. I don't understand why they take their helmets off. You could have said, David, take your helmet off. And he goes, all right, then. Takes his helmet off. And just see if it does anything to his skin. David, do you detect anything? He's like, no, good, keep your helmet on. And then move on. Don't fucking take it off. And the weirdest thing is, a lot of the times these films, they pay for an actor and they want to see the face, right? But you've made the helmets these big glass balls. It's like a goldfish. We can see who they are, so you don't need to take it off. I don't understand. But regardless, they decided to take it off. You know, like they didn't do in Alien because they weren't fucking stupid. So they walk around, and then they get to this. They see. Oh, it's a dead alien. Now they see the dead alien. David opens the door. The door opens. They go in. Jars. Big giant head. Then the murals on the wall start degrading because they've let the atmosphere in. So then they quickly grab the head and then they leave. I've just jogged through that because that's what's happened. Let's talk about how fucking dumb some of these elements are. There's an alien with its head stuck in the door. Oh my god. We see a hologram. David manages to turn shit on. Don't know how. Still works. Don't know how. Slimy weird things all the way up there. Why have you got a hologram in your corridor of what happened? How did you accidentally select the file? Go onto your TV and press something. You go, oh, for fuck's sake, I've turned it to Chinese. Oh, I can't see anything now. Oh, I fucked it. The more buttons you press, the worse it gets. It changes to fucking Arabic now. I'm like, oh my god, no. Hard reset. He just goes, boom, 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 boom. There's nothing for him to read. Boom, 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 boom. And then this he plays. He plays. You imagine just turn your computer on. Don't look and just leave the monitor off. Magically just start pushing buttons. And see if you can play a video. Play any video on YouTube. Mouse. Fucking whatever. See what happens. It's never going to happen. You could have thousands of goes. You're never going to happen. You're never going to pick a fucking video and play it. It'd be a fluke. It'd be random. Instead, he shows us what happened. It reveals that there's an alien stuck in that door. Right, let's talk about the aliens. We're running away. We're running away. We run down this corridor, and we run into a room that you can't get out of. The room is sealed. We see several shots. It is a room with a door like this, a head in it, and what looks like an altar at the back, and jars. There is no other way than that door into that room. So they are running away from something. They may be going for a jog. They're running away from something. And then he dies at the door. And then it closes on him. So he dies. Okay, so there's a dead one here. Why are they running into this room? There's nothing in there, is there? There's nothing we can see. There's this green gem, Right, so gem. What does it do? Don't know. Did anyone touch it? Nah, fuck it, leave it. Alright, cool. You shouldn't touch it, but there's all these vases, all sat around. And then a head. Oh, okay, then cool. So, we know that these vases have the black goo in. This black goo is a chemical weapon that they use to either destroy species or birth species. And it's got the head. So the head is God, right? And then all of these... This isn't a weapons facility. This is a creation facility. This is like the IVF clinic, right? Surely. This is the IVF clinic. Is that what this place is? You go to certain places and it destroys DNA. You go to other places, it mutates things into other things. Is it right? Is it because you wrote this? You should know what this is. You should know what this is. In Alien, they didn't know what it was. It was just a ship and a weird-looking shit thing because it came out of Giga's head. No one knows what the fuck that is. That's cool because it was never, ever, 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 ever meant to be anything. However, and we don't learn anything more. In Alien, we go, oh yeah, Alien. Oh, this is creepy. Let's get the fuck out of here. Ooh. Take a face hug with you. You'll last longer than a picture. That's what they do in Alien, and it's all left a mystery, and it should forever be left a mystery. With this, we do find out more. They investigate. They open the jars. We find out what they are. We find out what it does-ish. Doesn't make any sense. So, there's a mural on the wall, what looks like an alien, and everyone gets all giddy. But that can't be true, because they go on to say that David made the alien. And then people argue backwards and forwards that, no, it wasn't David. David made an example of the same one. That's not what Covenant says at all. But there's these murals. Oh, my God, the atmosphere's breaking the murals. Why? This space nipple, this temple, this pyramid thing, is changing the atmosphere from outside. It's removing the CO2. Right, okay. It's removing the CO2 from the atmosphere so we can breathe it. Why is that degrading the murals? I'm not quite sure because it's there. This door opens and closes, right? It's not protect. Don't understand. Don't understand why. What have they opened the door? And it's not like they opened the door and there's a big gust of wind because all the air goes into it because it was fucking a vacuum. Don't understand what that is either. Number 3, point number 76. Where are the other men? Where are the other space jockeys? They went in there and slammed the door. Which means that they left. There's no bodies, so they left. So what did they run in there for? Okay, we don't know. But they didn't pick the mate's head up. Derek, you're in the fucking door. Kick him. Give him a roll. No, they left him. They ran into this room for some reason and then eventually later on left. But the recording doesn't show that. The recording shows that this is kind of like the last moves. They run in, bang. It doesn't play any more of them coming out. Okay, cool. What happened, we don't know. Right? Okay, you can kind of have them elements where something happens, you don't know. Why did this record it? Why was David able to pull up that exact recording? Nothing else happened since? If this door has been sealed for that long, then these bodies should be there. They should be in there somewhere, but they're not. Okie dokie. There's worms. There's worms in this room. There's Earthworm Jim and his mates. There's Earthworm Jim and his friends. What are they eating? They're in the soil. This is soil? What the fuck? So the floor of this place is soil. Oh, okay then. And it has worms in it that are eating nothing because it's been sealed. It gets more and more bizarre. When they open the doors, it also lets the jars start leaking. But when David gets a jar, when he grabs one of these urns, it's a tight seal. It's a tss, and it opens, and then it's in a liquid in these jars, and in these jars there's the black goo. The fuck did it get out? And why is it on the lid? I what is it? Is it seeping out of this seal and then travelling up to the top of the... I don't know. None of this makes sense. None of this... Them jars are shit. But then they go into another place at the end where there's thousands of jars. They're not leaking. Why? Why are these jars the leaky jars? And they leak into the soil where the earthworms are. And the earthworms, what do they eat? Is this room sealed or is it just sand? I don't know. No one knows. No one fucking knows what this is. No one knows what's going on. It's fucked. So, they run into this room and they go exploring. David nicks a jar and then something really cool and stupid. We're doing science again. Science. Don't forget we're doing science. Let's carbon date this alien. What? What we doing? Let's carbon date the alien. Let's carbon date this alien and see how old it is. You've just said something really stupid and you don't realise what you've just said. So, very, very quick lesson on carbon dating. Carbon dating is about the ratio of a certain type of carbon, carbon-12 to carbon-14. Right? In other words, there's a slightly radioactive carbon, and it's an isotope. And when we breathe stuff in, that level of carbon then goes into our cells. And then we die, and that carbon is trapped. Now, what will happen is, over time, is the carbon-14 will decay into carbon-12. I think I'm spot on with this. There could be a slight fuck-up, but just bear with me. It's a ratio between how much carbon, the radioactive carbon you have. Right? And over time, it will decay into the non-radioactive isotope. Right? It will decay down, in a sense. So, when something dies, the clock starts ticking. Right? Tick-a-tick-tick-tick-tick-tick-tick-tick-tick-tick. And every year, there's another carbon gone. There's another carbon gone. Right? And what you do is you look at the ratios. And this is why carbon dating can be used only up to a certain point. Right? It only goes back, is it 15,000 years? Or 25,000 years? It only goes so far. Because eventually all the carbon will just turn into one kind of carbon. There is no imbalance, so you can't tell. So in other words, when something's new, there's a big difference. Right? When something gets older, this starts to chip away. Right? So the ratio is the same. When they're like this, carbon dating no longer works. Right? So it's 25,000 years or 40,000 years, whatever it is, or older. It could be older, right? Because you've run out of carbon, right, to have that decay product. Then you have to do stuff like uranium, argon dating and stuff that lasts a lot longer. Same principle, just lasts a lot longer. Different decays and all this shit, but blah, 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 blah. Just so people know, carbon dating does not work on sea creatures. Does not work on dolphins, does not work on seals, does not work on all of these animals that are in the sea. Why? Because these animals, like crustaceans and stuff, when they make their shells, they can make their shells out of old carbon. So they have carbon-dated sea lions to be 20,000 years old, and it's alive right now. The sea lion is alive right now. It basically, there's a very, 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 very old fucking sea creature, and that ate that, and that ate that, and that ate that, and that ate that, because it's in its shell. Old carbon that's really old, that has these levels that are really low, you know, just say like there to there, making this 15,000 years old, the sample. That carbon is eaten by one thing, and so it ends up inside it. Where with stuff like plants, they rot and decay, right? So if you've got a leaf that's old, it rots and decays and nothing eats that. It's gone. All the insects have had it, and they had it very recently, so it goes into their body recently. It all gets churned around, right? And the carbon-14 comes from the air. It's reactions with like cosmic rays and the sun and shit. So it's constantly been replenished, is carbon-14 in the air. Plants take it in, things eat plants, and it ends up going down the food chain. With sea creatures, it fucks it up. Now, that's important. Carbon dating on this planet fucks it up. So the ratio between carbon, right, the carbon ratio is how you know how old something is. But to understand the carbon ratio, you have to understand the ecosystem. We know on Earth that the carbon that plants breathe in is this. How do we know? Get a brand new plant right now and check the ratio. Get loads of plants from all around the world and check the ratios. Get these same plants, keep them in storage and check the ratios in 100 years or 50 years, and you can see that it's 50 years old. Look at bits of wood that we know is this old, i.e. bits of wood from the pyramids, because we know that these pharaohs were so many dynasties before Cleopatra, say, and that was in the Roman times, so we know exactly when that was because they wrote the fucking date down. And we can get Roman wood out of Roman things, and just take a tiny sample and carbon date that. Oh look, they said they built this building in fucking 4 AD, and look, it says the wood's 2,000 years old. Fucking yes, to the year, or to 2 years, or to 3 years, a 3-year range. But yes, we can prove this works. This is a fucking alien, bitch. How much carbon is in the air? It's going to be different. The processes are going to be different. Do these aliens even eat stuff with carbon in it? Fuck knows. We can't... If we can't tell the carbon dating of sea lions and dolphins on Earth accurately with carbon dating, because there's a thing in the system that fucks the whole thing up, and we can't tell how old actually this carbon is because we don't know where it came from, then you can't do it with a fucking alien where you've just turned up. Nope. Just wrong. Just bad, wrong science. Just wrong. You cannot carbon date an alien. You might say, well, you've been too picky. It's like, no, just call it something else. Just call it isotope comparison dating. That's all you have to do. You just write something else. You see, in Star Trek they do this. This thing has a weird shield that we don't understand. It's alien. What is it? It's a tachyon shield. A tachyon's real? Axions and tachyons are theoretical things that may exist. In Star Trek they're going, yeah, we'll go with that one. We'll go with the one that science doesn't know now, and we'll just call it that. It's a way to do it, isn't it? In 1987 or 1994, that's a fucking way to do it. A tachyon's a real thing? Nah, well, we think there might be. It's like a placeholder name. All right, cool, we'll go with that then. Have you noticed in Star Trek TNG, they don't talk about dark energy. They don't talk really that much about black holes. Why? Because black holes and dark energy and dark matter were either something that wasn't really discovered, right? The acceleration of the universe. They still thought the universe was contracting back then. And number two is black holes were this theoretical thing that might be true, it might not be true. We're still looking for evidence. We found some candidates. So Star Trek stayed away from that stuff just in case it turns out that in 5 years' time, that after Star Trek, it's not real. Oh, well, that makes Star Trek look a bit daft then, doesn't it? You know, like they talk about wormholes loosely, but we can't make them because it's loosely. Are wormholes even real and stable? It's kind of that kind of stuff. So be clever about it. Be smart about it. Now, you see, you little fucks. Now, you might say, well, wait there's that fuck up in Alien where they say that the moon's diameter is 1,200 kilometres, but it has the surface gravity of 0.85. That's impossible. Unless the fucking planet is made out of tungsten. And I think even that might be impossible. Now, you might say it has some kind of dark matter moon or something. Yeah, go on, then you can stretch that. That's a possibility. At least there's an answer there. With this just doesn't work. Because they're using what you know about science. Well, we'll just carbon date it. It doesn't work that way. You've even brought Mr. Geologist and Mr. Biologist. They'll both tell you that doesn't fucking work that way, you stupid bitch. And here's a specimen. Stab. You imagine they go through committees when they want to fucking when they want to stick Tutankhamun's body in an MRI scanner. They talk about it for weeks and weeks and say, is there another way we can not do this? Like, we don't have to move him to the scanner. Is there a way you can bring the scanner here? No. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's think about it. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss the possible chances of damaging Tutankhamun's corpse versus the benefits of scanning it. They literally have committees. She's just like, go on, have that, you fuck. Oh, look, it says. That's reliable. But, Matt, it's futuristic technology. It can work out the carbon ratio, but no, it can't. Fucking shut up. No, it can't. She hasn't stabbed anything else with it yet. No, you can't. You just can't. You say, well, what about the carbon-14 in the atmosphere? But it depends how they eat it. It depends about all these things. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Is it's not. It's like the carbon dating from dolphins. They breathe the same fucking air we do, but their carbon dating is miles out from what the actual results are. That was the whole point of me going on about seashells and fucking sea lions and all the rest of it. You cannot. There are limitations to carbon dating on Earth now. Well, you can't expect the writers to know that. Why not? Why not? They've got Wikipedia. Why the fuck not? Why can't they just look it up and make sure? And when they read that and go, oh, carbon dating's not reliable for every single thing on Earth, just call it something else then. Do you fucking... You got to remember, right? If people say, well, you can't expect them to know that. These fuckers are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not up to $1 million, to write this garbage. Fuck me. If I know it, just from pure curiosity, I'm not a fucking geologist, biologist, archaeologist, paleontologist. I'm none of these things. Paleontology was one that you'd probably more likely want to have because it's digging up dead things that aren't human. Yeah, archaeologists. Archaeologists deal with human history. Paleontologists deal with everything that isn't human. So basically, everything that isn't human. The nature just minus humans. But they're archaeologists, as far as I understand. They're there to discover cave sites from humans. But surely you'd also want a paleontologist. Who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck? So, they say, like they always do, there's a storm coming! Why didn't you see this? Why don't you just... Because he says there's a storm coming. It's like, wait. You've just travelled fucking 4 years. Wait. Oh, is it 2 years? Who cares? You've just spent all this time trying to get here. Calm down. Well, yeah, I want my Christmas presents. Now. Fucking will someone shoot him or stick some kind of biological fucking weapon in him? Ooh. So, we'll finish on the head, then I need to go for... We might call this part 1 or part 2, depends how long the video is, or I might... Because I need to go and get something to eat because I'm starving. So basically what they do is they do the storm thing, which was pointless action. You could just say, you lot need to get back now because the storm's coming. And they just drive back. And you can see this clouds and it gets a bit foggy and stuff. And then they just look back longingly and go, God, the possibilities of this place. And like, Elizabeth, we need to go. She's like, there's so much to see. And she's just like, yeah, we'll just grab what you can and we'll come back tomorrow. They don't need this big action set piece that costs them a lot of money and does absolutely nothing. None of us were at the edge of our seats. None of us cared. Oh, there's a sandstorm. Oh. Having David go through the air like this, jumping weightless, looked goofy as fuck. And what was it for? Have you noticed we didn't have this with Alien? Right? Halfway through the film, when they go back to the ship, there wasn't some action set piece of Dallas and Lambert running through like this, and there's all this wind, and the weather picked up, but it wasn't some action set piece. Ridley, have you forgot how to create an atmosphere? Why did they even film it with blue sky? Film it in fucking overcast, you daft cunts. Don't understand. The whole sense of it has gone. Any road, who cares? They get back, and Holloway gets drunk. Oh no, we're jumping. Sorry, we're jumping. So let's just talk about the head. We've got this helmet. It looks like it doesn't look like the space jockey. It looks nothing like the space jockey. The space jockey had what looked like skin over sockets where eyes might have gone, and then this tube with more dead and decayed skin. It looked like you were looking at something that was organic that had died in the sea, like it's its skeleton. Instead, we get this weird, goofy-looking thing with eyeballs and all this weird shit. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then they place it on the thing, and then they scan it, and they go, hang about, something else. And then, David, couldn't you come and have a look? Why do you need him? Why isn't he just doing this mission himself? So he comes up, grabs it, and somehow he knows how to take the helmet off. And then that's it. I went, fuck off. I saw it. And I went, oh, it's just a big, massive ogre. It's just a giant, isn't it? It looks like a retarded man. And I was like, oh, just a blank expression. He looks clammy. It hasn't decomposed at all for some reason. It's just it. It's got a few bits of mould on it. But I'd eat that. And then, they do nothing. At least they've got gowns on and masks on for 5 minutes, eh? And then, well, no, they haven't got masks on, have they? They put them on later. So, no, they haven't got masks on. And like, oh, this is organic. And he's like, oh, look, I've got one of these. Fucking have that. Right. What is she trying to... Why is an archaeologist doing this? Can anyone explain that? What was going through their minds when they wrote this shit? Well, an archaeologist, she just rams a jump pack, a 12-volt jump pack, into its head, and then starts increasing the energy. But I'm sure she calls it joules. And I'm like, why are you measuring... I don't know what she's expecting. Like, do you get a human head, stick a battery pack in it and go, well, give it 100 joules? Oh, what? What were they hoping? It's a big fuck-off needle. What What were they hoping for? Oh, it starts doing this and like, oh my God, oh, the smell. Do you know if you can smell that, that means it's going into your system? Do you know what that is? Alien blood and guts and mould and possible parasites and possible infectious agents, and even the blood of the alien itself, if it has dormant white blood cells, not actual white blood cells, but what would be equivalent, like an immune system response that is still alive somehow, we don't fucking know, goes into your nose, then you're smelling that shit, and then that could actually kill you or infect you or do something, or who fucking knows? Oh, the smell. Oh, put it in the fucking cupboard. So they put it in the cupboard, and for some reason, it had an explosive in its head. I don't understand what was it, gases that made it explode? Anyway, this once in a lifetime, this might be the only head they find, and it explodes. You're going to have to explain that to the Smithsonian, or the rest of humanity. We've found this alien thing, right? We've found this alien, the creators of us, we believe, and it fucking exploded. But we did a DNA test on it, and it matches ours. Now, let me explain something. A dog's DNA does not match ours. If the alien's DNA matched ours, the alien would be a human. That's what it means. It's like this. The way it works with DNA is quite simple. If the number is 2 and your number is 2, they are the same number. That's it. If you've got a number 1 and I've got a number 7, they are not the same number. They don't look the same. They don't equate to the same thing. You have 1 hot cross bun and I have 7. They're not the same thing. In fact, you could have 1 hot cross bun and I could have 7 golden retrievers. They don't even have to represent the same thing. In other words, you could have the exact same ATGC number, right? So the same amount of A, T, C and Gs in your DNA code, but scrambled different, and it'll make a completely different life form. So you could be made out of the same amino acids. Like, you've got 16,748 billion of these, of the T's. You've got 16,707 of the G's, and you've got 14 C's. You could literally have kind of like, you know, a mix of whatever. Now, obviously, they're paired up. But still, you could have the same quantity of these amino acids. But if they're scrambled different, you will become something else. It's weird, I know. So there is no match. Now, if they were saying, well, it's a baseline match, we're just trying to see if it's the same kind of things. So this thing is a mammal, then? Is that what you're saying? It's a primate. Well, no. They just match the very basic sequences. What? You mean the difference between a bacteria and humans? That kind of difference? Yes. Oh, okay, then. That was lucky. She guessed that before they even tested that. That's lucky. It's lucky they never evolved to change that in any kind of way or did something different. What does this mean for humanity? Forget what it means for humanity. I'll finish on this one for the time being. This might be one long video, so this is just a break. This will be a chance for you to go for a break. They discover the engineers. They discover these temples. They discover that these engineers and stuff have ships and everything. Why didn't anyone go back? What do you mean? Well, the cave paintings, they've published this stuff, right? They've published this stuff so Wayland knows about it. They're archaeologists, of course they're going to publish these findings. It only becomes a finding after you publish all 12 and go, we think this might be an alien race. Everyone who works at Wayland, all of the board members, you know where he went, right? He disappeared. Do you want to go look for him? That ship's worth $1 trillion. Does anyone want to go look for him? Course they would. Course they would want to go and look for him. Yes, he's dead and Vickers. Well, Vickers dies as well. Who's going to run the company? Someone is going to want to go and look for them. Because if Vickers and Wayland are not dead, then you can't take the company over. They can literally just turn up and go, ha-ha, it's my company, fuckhead. Stand aside. You will look for them, if anything, to make sure they're dead. But you will look for them. And when you get there, you go, oh my God, there's this entire fucking facility, black goo. These are related to us. This is mind-blowing stuff. And everyone forgets about it. Seems to be a running theme in Alien and Aliens and all these other films that people make these discoveries and forget. Does anyone mention the Covenant? Does anyone... Organa 6, they don't turn up. Where did they go? Who knows? Because that piece of shit will never be made, thank fuck. But every single time this massive, massive discovery is discovered and no one has the right mind to make these films to carry that shit on. We don't care. As long as we've got Giga's fucking thing. People like the scary little boo-boo ghost. Oh, great, cool. Fuck me. The entire concept of The Expanse was based on... You imagine season 1. We found this thing. It's this blue goo shit. Okay, blue goo. Then we found season 2. We found... It made a ring-gate. Oh, fuck it, ignore it now. No one's going to go over the ring-gates. Just ignore it. Who cares? What? Sorry, what? There was news reports saying it has been 6 months since the fucking thing that the rogue asteroid went and ploughed itself into Venus. Still no sign about what's going on. But there's constant updates of we're watching this thing on Venus to see what actually happened. We've sent ships there to investigate. Yeah. I'm glad you're continuing the story of what happened. That would be a good idea. Seeing as though you wrote the fucking story. It's just like, Prometheus, nah. She disappeared. The old Elizabeth, we left her. Fuck it. We know where they're going. See, the way it works in space is, poof! You can't fuck around in space. Things are so far apart that you cannot just go, I'll just take a detour at the last minute. Because it takes so fucking long. You want to get there to that done, you go there. So they'll be able to track it and go, oh, look, it went in a straight line. This is the thing about space. In the future, it's going to be one of the problems. They do it in The Expanse, where a lot of the time they've got the holographic table and they're showing you people's orbits around the sun, and where they go, oh look, they disappeared. But where were they going? We extrapolate where were they going? Well, they were going to here. They have to be going here, and they're going at subluminal speed, so they're just rocket engine over there and rocket engine over there and rocket engine. They're going slow speeds. When you're trying to go faster than the speed of light to get to these places in decent times, you can't fuck about. If light always travels in straight lines, then going fucking faster than light you have to, holy shit. You know what I mean? It's like, poof, off you go. It's just like, they went that way. We can see the trajectory, right? There'll be even star tracking systems that can see the Prometheus every day going like that across the sky. It's like, Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jewish God. It has been a week since I did the last video of this. We've got a can of Red Bull. This is part 2 of the Prometheus video. Woo! And it's time to get excited and all the rest of it. So, where I finished off was talking about why did they not look for the Prometheus. Think about it. If they went and looked for the Prometheus, they'd have found all this stuff. It is now a huge plot hole in the Prometheus Covenant, the rest of the story, because it's Prometheus Covenant, Alien Earth, Alien, Romulus, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien 4. All of that is now ruined in Prometheus. So when I said that Prometheus was the worst film of all of them, this is one of the major contentions of why. It's like, it really does break the whole story that they knew all of this stuff. They knew about the space jockeys. They know where Wayland's gone. So all that jazz. We got to the bit in the film where Elizabeth and her friends stuck the alien head in a bit of Tupperware and it blew up. For reasons unknown, right? We've just found the most important discovery. This artifact is the most important thing that we have ever found. It is the head of an alien, right? An engineer. Bang! Fuck it. Now we've got the exploded carcass of the head of an engineer. You should have seen it. It looks like us, but just bigger. Well, it'd be nice to have you seen it, but we can't because we blew it up. Fuck. So, Holloway's really upset, and he doesn't see the psychopathic David stick the black goo in his drink. Don't know why. Elizabeth Shaw gets the DNA from the engineer's head. Some of the goo, I think, off the side of the wall. It's like a pregnancy stick. And it says it's a match. It's a DNA match. Now, I don't know what it's a DNA match to. Because there's eukaryotes, and I can't spell it. How do I spell you? Oh, fuck it. Eukaryotes. I think it's got a Y somewhere. Is it eukaryotes? Whatever it is. So basically, eukaryotes are the symbiosis between two things that became a thing. Mitochondrial and RNA, DNA and all that kind of jazz. Not my field of expertise whatsoever. And eukaryotes evolved into all of the things of the tree of life. So this is the tree. And then on one of those branches, there's another branch here. There's another branch here. On that branch there, the 15th from the left, is primates. And we are the Homo of one of the branches of primates. And there's plenty of branches. There's one that comes off there, gorillas, blah, 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 all that shit, right? So cool. So when it says a DNA match, it can't be this, right? Because if it's a match, it depends what you mean, but if it's a match, like your DNA when you're at a crime, when your DNA at a crime, they say it's a match, it means it's specifically you with 1 in 18 billion chance of it not being you, that kind of shit. Right? It means it's specifically you. If it's a family match, it can be a match, again, to that family. So, however many people are in your family, that kind of chance to the population. If it's Homo, including stuff like Homo habiliensis, erectus, Neanderthals, Denisovans, all that kind of shit, if it's part of this genus, then it can't be, because that means that one of these branches is missing and there's an engineer on it. And that doesn't mean that we came from it. So it must mean primates, right? That the engineer's a primate. But primates came all the way from the, what was it, Luca? The last universal common ancestor, right? So we can trace everything from daffodils to trees to all that kind of shit, right? They had a last common ancestor, universal common ancestor. Right? So, if the entire tree of life has Luca in it somewhere, then the engineers must predate that, which is what I thought they were going for. The engineer at the beginning of the story, right, had his espresso, and then that DNA that fell in the river was what basically was then eventually Luca that the tree of life came out of. So your match is very... The match could mean several things. This could be down to panspermia. Right? Oh, there's the eye. It could be panspermia, which is kind of what it is if you turn up and go after a bad shot and then fall in the river. It's kind of panspermia, that's what that is. So when you say it's a match, they didn't make us. They could have just spat in the river. So going to them and saying, why did you make us? This is someone who doesn't understand science. And it's science fiction. It didn't happen, but it's got to be in the realms of science. When you're using carbon dating that you can't use. When you're using DNA that you can't possibly use. What do you mean it's a fucking match? It can't be a match to humans, because if it's a match to humans, that means it's very, 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 very specific on this tree of life, right? It's not a car part, it's a Toyota Celica 1998 2-litre blah, 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 SE, XE, whatever, and it's this very specific nut that goes under the wheel arch. It's very specific if it's human. But the problem is if you have DNA that is a match to human DNA, guess what that makes you? That makes you a human. Because if you tweak the DNA a bit, you get chimpanzee, which wouldn't be a match. If you tweak it some more, you get daffodil. And if you tweak it some even more, fuck knows, bacteria. You get what I mean? So what do you mean it's a match? It makes no sense. So she gets the heebie-jeebies. She's really chuffed. Holloway's a depressive little fuckwit who deserves everything he gets. And then the exciting thing happens. And I'll use a special colour for this. Right. Holloway and Shaw have sex. Now, I'll leave that there, because this is the most important thing in the alien universe. I'll leave that there. So they bang, and they wake up everyone in the morning, and the two guys, where they go to sleep, dipshit, the Scottish ginger, and glasses have got lost again. And then the captain says, there's a ping in the pyramid. It's near you. Go and check it out. And they say, fuck you. And I thought this was really strange. Because I'm like, wait a minute. You fucked yourself again. A lot of people say, how did the ginger guy get lost when he makes the map? Oh, easy. He makes the map by chucking the pups into the sky and they go and scan it. And his thing could just say, scanning. It doesn't actually necessarily mean he has the map. So the fact that you could argue that he is making the map doesn't mean he knows what's on it. Like, you can manufacture cars. Doesn't mean you know how to drive them. You know, you could work at a restaurant and just chop up sprouts and vegetables. Doesn't mean you know how to cook the meal, right? So you can kind of get away with that one. The big problem is, and this is the problem, hey, can you go and have a look at they're in contact with the ship. There's a ping. I'll give you the coordinates. Go there. So in other words, what it means is that Ginger and Glasses could have said, hey, Captain, where are we? Can you tell us how to leave, basically, when they originally got lost. So that's the plot hole, is the fact that, yes, they might not necessarily have the map, but they have access to communications for people who do. And in real life, those retards would have just asked. If I'm leaving, I'm like, shit, I don't know where to go. Captain, he's like, what do you want? He's like, I know you didn't get the James Bond gig, but can you do me a solid? He's like, what do you want? He's like, can you tell me which way to go? He's like, yeah, turn left, keep on going, and I'll tell you when you get there. And which way to go. Then that's how they'll get out. Right? That's how they'd get out. It's that simple. So that's a big fucking fuck you, because they're using the communications and he's using the map to direct them of where to go. Because they're like, which way is it? It's like east. Well, let's go fucking west then. Stay away from it. So they end up going into the headroom for some strange reason, that room that they didn't want to go into, but now they're now in there, chilling out, to be quite honest. And then they see, for some reason, the jars have all leaked. No one can explain that. No one can explain why it's all just started to pour out for some reason. Someone might say, well, they opened the door and let the air outside in. When was this all pumped out? Why was it pumped out? And how come the jars in the other rooms aren't all leaking as well? Don't know. Just don't know. How come the jar that David opens in the Prometheus isn't bubbling out and leaking? Also don't know. So it's just complete bullshit, right? This is the problem with Prometheus. I don't think people realise that Prometheus has every single thing wrong. Name me something in Prometheus, any kind of object, any kind of character, any kind of plot, storyline, happening, event, you name it, and there is something wrong with it. The ship Prometheus itself, the ship, the Prometheus, it collides into the bone ship and it crumples like it's made out of rice paper but does nothing to the ship. What's it made out of? Why does it crumple like that? The Prometheus also, they land the Prometheus on the road between two of these pyramid structures. Don't know why you'd want to do that. Why is the ship called the Prometheus? Well, it's because of Prometheus giving fire to humans. What the fuck has that got to do with the ship? Well, Ridley Scott was saying that the film... Yes, he's talking about the film, the theme in the theme that isn't actually the theme in the film is the name of the ship. That's not clever. Why did they call the ship the Nostromo? Sounded cool. All right, I'll do. Name of a ship. What else are you going to name it? The Narcissus, the shuttle, is the Latin name for daffodil. Oh, maybe that's why it's white. Who fucking knows? Who cares? It probably wasn't. It just sounded cool. It was in a book. Sounded cool. Anything in this film is... Everything and anything is broken. So, next thing you know, it says, you lot best batten down the hatches and don't touch that fucking vagina snake thing. Just don't touch it. I know it looks like pussy, but it'll kill you. And then he immediately says to Vickers, hey, hot shit, you're an android. Want to fuck? And she says yes. Oh, okay. Wow, what a character. Both of you. What a character. Amazing. What is Vickers doing here? She's just getting banged by random blokes. Cool. I now know more about Vickers than I knew before. She likes to fuck and she's not an android, we think. Who fucking cares? So, Dillweed and Glasses are sat there and he's going, have you got tobacco in your helmet? Then they touch the vagina snake and why? I know people think that's the worst thing, but it's compounded bullshit on bullshit. It's like, it really is insane. Yeah, of course he's... At this point, I was like, well, of course he's going to fucking pet the thing. Why else is he here? Why else is a script contrived for him to be exactly here right now? Why else would that happen? I don't know. At that point, it wasn't like everything was going smoothly and now he's been stupid. So, the ball thing is against a door pinging for some reason. It says it detected life forms. Did it? Remember... on the map, the ball, the pup has stopped. And it's pinging, saying it's detected life forms. When David goes there, the ball's floating like this. He opens the door and it goes in. What life forms? Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter, does it? There are no life forms. It was just something chucked in to make it go, ooh, what life forms? Life forms. It's just nonsense. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. Like I say, everything that's said or done in this fucking film is bullshit. Ginger fights the snake demon along with Glasses. It goes in Glasses' mouth because facehuggers, I think. And he dies. And we never see him again, Glasses. Well, that was worth it, and I didn't care. And then Ginger falls into the goo, and it goes on his face because the goo melts stuff. Oh, okay. And then you chop the worm in half, and it grows another head. or tail immediately. Okay, I hope that is useful later. No. Acid goes everywhere on his screen. That falls on his face, then he falls in the goo, and it's who cares? Why has the worm got acid for blood? Because Alien did, Matt. But that isn't an alien. Maybe it is. Who fucking cares? I mean, knows, right? Next morning. Middle of the night, Holloway's going, oh my God, my eye feels weird. Is there a worm in it? Oh my God, I think I saw a worm. Body horror bullshit, don't care, hope he dies. Luckily, the next morning, that's what's on the agenda. They get back in the thing, and Holloway's like, oh, fucking... like, shall we tech him? Yeah, fuck it, tech him. They drive out. David's like, I know what's happening here. I infected this guy. Why? Remember, he undoes the vase, takes out these vials that are in Coca-Cola bottles. Why? I don't know. How did they even leak out of there? They're in a fluid, in a liquid, in a goo, in a glass bottle, in a vial, in a fucking... I don't understand. They're in like ampules with another... It looks like vinegar. Cider vinegar. All that shit happens, and it doesn't leak out for some reason. Maybe because he kept it in the freezer. Why are you keeping the freezer, David? That might actually kill what's inside it. I don't know, I'm just guessing. You put everything in the freezer, everyone knows that. Oh, that's smart. See what I mean? Every single thing that you do. He gets it and puts it in a hold-all and carries it. It's like you're tipping it. That might fuck it up. It's an alien thing, you know what it does. Don't matter. I've read the script, fuckface. I know what happens. I go and put it in the freezer, take it back out of the fridge later on, and it's absolutely fine. Somehow. Good thing they don't need some code or some magic or something to undo them, eh? You can just unscrew them. Whew, I know that's lucky, innit? Why are all the other ones leaking in the headroom? The air. Oh, the air, of course. That air that humans can breathe, which is the same as it is in the Prometheus, but this jar doesn't leak. Fucking shut up. How do you know that when you dip the black goo in the fucking Coke or the vodka and Coke or whiskey and Coke that he had, how did you know that that wasn't going to kill the black goo? The black goo's main weakness might be water or whiskey or alcohol. Ethanol could kill the black goo. You don't know. What are you doing? It could turn into a fucking incendiary. It could just fucking spontaneous... It could be a hypergolic fuel when mixed with alcohol and water. Who fucking knows? Who cares? Who cares? David's just going, fucking whatever. It's got to work, and it? We'll pour that in there. We put the lime in the coconut and shake it up. It's like, fucking Christ. Like I said, every single thing in Prometheus is wrong and broken. Every single thing. So... They then get to the place. They're going back there for some reason. We don't really know why they're going back. They're not taking any equipment with them or anything. They're not taking any lights. They're not taking anything. They're not setting up camp properly. They just thought, because we know we're going to have to go back in a minute, because David, look at Holloway, get up. Oh my God, his face looks fucked. Let's take it back to the ship. Hey, Captain, we're coming back. He's fucked. Because he's like, I'm not having any of this shit. And then this is the only good thing that happened. The only... moment where anyone is smart. Vickers goes, not on my ship. She goes downstairs and she sets fire to him. And I was like, please set fire to Elizabeth. Fuck it, Vickers. Burn them all. Just burn them all. Just set fire to all of them. I don't actually know why a ship like the Prometheus would have an underslung flamethrower. It's like a Gatling gun. It's like a minigun, sorry. Why would you need a minigun cum flamethrower? Don't know. Just don't know. Just, why not, eh? Why not? Fuck it. You know, flamethrowers are like area denial weapons or to get people out of bunkers and shit. Why is it... Well, the other aliens had flamethrowers because they can make them up out of other bits. Yeah, but this isn't a made-up one. This is a flamethrower that they actually specifically have bought. But it's an alien film, though. You got to have a flamethrower and an android and an alien-ish. Oh, okay, then cool. And then she just flames him. It's a good thing them suits aren't flame retardant. Imagine them suits being flame retardant. Oh, my God. She just burns him and he stands there going... Oh fuck! It's like an ultra futuristic Nomex suit. It's just like, oh no! He just sits there going, "Ooh, warm," and it doesn't kill him. Yeah, that's a bit dumb, isn't it? It's actually that suit seemed extremely flammable. I was quite surprised how flammable it was. But yeah, it's lucky it's not flame resistant. Not proof, but flame resistant. But he burned like a good one. And then Elizabeth Shaw screams, which at first I thought she was on fire as well, but it turns out she's not. And Charlize Theron does the best bit. She sets someone on fire looking sexy as she does it. Good bitch. I'm glad she did it. It's never ever mentioned again. It never mentioned if she give a fuck. Elizabeth doesn't confront her. It's just never ever mentioned. Cool. So then we get a fade out. And we get a fade in. Oh no, before we get the fade in, let's talk about the most bizarre scene that was put in, I think, for trailers. The captain just randomly decides that he wants to do his job all of a sudden. And he looks at a random video recorder, CCTV feed, and he sees that it's the Ginger feed. And for some reason, he's on the floor with his feet over his head somehow. I don't know how that actually works, because I think he must have sat on his chest with a contortionist, flipped his feet, but his feet are pointing that way, which means he must have twisted his foot round. But whatever. And what I do find remarkable is this. The Prometheus has like a lowered loading bay, like a hangar type thing, like Thunderbird 2, which I don't mind. That's cool idea, right? That you lower this entire section. So it's got this big loading bay thing. And what he does is he in his collapsed weird form sits there, and it's just at the foot. It's perfectly at the foot of the door that opens. And it stops here, right next to his helmet. I was like, "Oh, that's lucky, isn't it?" It's almost like he came up, come up and went, right, that door is about that big, and it's gonna when it comes, it's about there. That was lucky. It's lucky to go and just squash his fucking head and pin him to the floor. He's like, nah, like a little goblin with his arms and that way. I'm trapped. That'd be fucking well good. Anyway, so for some reason, they go outside with the flamethrowers to go and check it out. And then he stands up and he's like some weird, I don't know, it looks like he's had one too many kebabs and too much to drink and too much smack. And then he just starts killing everybody. Why is this there? He just runs around and kills everyone. Everyone's got useless guns that don't do anything. I don't know what's the point of having guns if they don't shoot anything. Because they just make a noise like an electronic stapler, but nothing seems to happen. We see pings off stuff, but nothing seems to actually... I don't see any impacts, no squibs, nothing. Don't understand it. And then they run him over. He kills loads of people. They run him over, and then not James Bond comes and sets him on fire. Good thing we bought him flamethrowers, eh? So, after that weird, bizarre thing, Elizabeth Shaw wakes up. And she's with David. And David's been a little weird little pervert. And then he says, "Oh, you're pregnant." She goes, "That can't be. I'm a sour bitch that no one would ever want to have intercourse with." And he's like, "No, remember, Holloway and Shaw had sex. Remember that. That's very important. And we will get to why that's important." And it turns out that Holloway's black jizz... I never thought about it like that. Holloway's black jizz has created a monster. So I think this is like trying to go back to the 1950s when if you came home and you told your dad you'd been knocked up by a black guy, that it's a monstrosity and needs to be aborted. I think that's what they were going for. I think. But she's knocked up even though she can't be. She says that's impossible. I am an evil... My womb is anti-life. I was like, I fucking totally agree. And she then... Dave's just like, I've been up to no good. I don't know why. He's giving away the game. So she legs it. And it's like this big horrible moment where no one's chasing her, but she runs around like someone is. And then she gets a lot of syringes and drugs and dives into the patriarchal med pod, the Da Vinci machine that won't do women. And she climbs aboard, and she tells it to do a cesarean, and it says, "Fuck you." And then she goes, "Fuck you too," and she kicks it, and then she says, foreign body extraction. And it goes, okay then, I'll do that. I don't really know why it's so hard to program in a cesarean or a... Don't know why. She's starting to get grumbling pains because she's got indigestion. She gets on the thing and it cuts her open with a laser, even though she's jumping around. She has to administer her own drugs, which I did think was weird. Why isn't the machine doing that? Surely the machine should do that. Not, I hope I've got the right dose. I don't know why she's doing that, but whatever. The machine clearly can't administer these things. It just can't. I don't know why. She's lucky she didn't have to fucking bring her own staples. But it cuts her open with this laser. And it just cuts through whatever, I think. I can't really see it doing... It just cuts into her. And then it pulls out this little sack with what looks like a very short but fat penis inside. It's got an umbilical cord. So it cuts that, which I don't know how it did that. Or does she bite it? I can't remember. It's all weird. Anyway, the sack bursts, and all of that shit falls inside her. That was the gross bit, when it all fell... Oh, God. Anyway, it seals her up, punch her a repair kit, gives her a couple of stainless steel staples, kicks her out and says on her way. So she climbs out screaming, and it's like this little grabber thing, which was clearly to grab a baby. I don't know what the fuck... It's like round. It's like a surgical tools have got these round... implements to softly grab, like the 2p machines or whatever at the seaside. Really soft grab, loosely grab shit. It looked like it was going to let go every moment. Luckily they glued it to it, because otherwise it would have fallen off. Because it starts having a little... And what made me laugh my ass off, and they always do this in modern... They don't think about it. They always do it in modern stuff. You need vocal cords to make a sound. You need some kind of sound-making... abilities. Like, I can't hear ants. I can't hear worms. Worms don't growl. I can't hear fish. There's a lot of things in nature that don't actually make any fucking noise, apart from them moving. They keep on doing it. Like, some kind of... Like, they did it in Alien Earth, where the tadpole made a growl. It's like, what are you doing? It's a tadpole. It can't growl. But no, the growl, right? You know, like a frog. A frog cannot make a growling noise, right? It can't bark. It doesn't have the capabilities to do that. But no, this thing growls for some fucking reason. And then she closes the pod and then tells it to kill the thing. Okay, now it doesn't kill the thing, and I'm fine with that. It shouldn't kill the thing, because whatever you're using to kill it is probably not an alien killing device. It's a human... But I don't know why it's got that. Why would you get out of the pod and sterilise everything inside it like that with gas in some big way where we can't see it? Anyway, it looks like it dies, which I find weird, because it's like, well, did it kill it or not? Because you've just showed me that it looks like it was doing a rave, then you pump the gas in, and then it... I would think that's dead. That's what the film's telling me, but no, wait. Elizabeth Shaw... like so I'd been a woman, decides to randomly run into a room. And there's Wayland. Hey, fucking hell, what are you doing here, bruv? No one knows. No one has ever been told. No one understands. Ever. To this day, no one has come forward that was anything to do with the project and said, oh, right, the Peter Wayland thing, let me explain. No one. He's just there, hiding, for some reason. No one knows why. He just is. Cool. Why? Why are you here? Just deal with it. Don't worry about it. Okay, moving on. So Peter Wayland is alive and well. Well, I say well. But she manages just to walk into the room. There's not locked or anything. David's washing his feet for some reason, and they're about to load him into an exoskeleton. And he's like, Shaw, what are you doing here, you bitch? How's it going? How's the pregnancy? And then she basically calls him a cunt. She calls everyone a cunt, and then they just allow her to follow him. So she leaves after being really upset that he lied to them. I don't know why he lied to them. No one knows why he lied to them. Idris Elba, after Flaming Ginger, comes in and he goes, "This isn't an invitation. This is a weapons facility." Where the fuck did you get that idea from? He just did. One thing I did miss out is that David went on an exploration and found a room full of all the jars that were exposed to the same air that aren't all leaking for some reason. There's thousands of these jars. Goes in, there's the space jockey suit. Oh, that fucking really pisses me off. And he finds out there's an engineer asleep. That's all we have to touch with that. It's all fucking nonsense. It looks like shit. Yeah, actually, that room looks like shit. They've managed to make the space jockey room in the original Alien look worse. I don't know how. It's too small. The things aren't too big enough. The space jockeys aren't big enough. It just looks shit. CGI fucking nonsense. David holds the globe and looks wonderment. Why is he all wonder? Why are you holding the Earth and going, "Oh, wow"? Why are you doing that, David? You want to fucking kill everybody. No one knows. No one knows the motivation for these things. Are you just having another psychotic episode? Next week on David, he's just randomly wallpapering inanimate objects. A rock, a tree, the ground. He's trying to wallpaper the sky. Why are you doing that, David? Don't know, I'm just fucking randomly mental. Fuck's sake. So, Idris Elba comes into her room and he says, "We need to leave this place. This is a military complex." I don't know where Idris Elba got any of this from. Now, the audience is putting all this together, but Idris Elba shouldn't know any of this. But he does, for some reason. Vickers tried to watch David on the CCTV, but he turned his camera off. And she went, "Not bad. That was that. That's the last we're going to get from her for lines. Cool. That's fucking..." Vickers was a complete waste of time. So, she then reveals father to Wayland. I don't know why she came. I don't know... No one knows. No one knows. Those plot lines went nowhere, were going nowhere, etc., etc., etc. Do you know in the original script for Alien, they cut out fuck all? They cut out fuck all from the original script. It's pretty much all there. If you read the original script, the conversations go on for a bit longer and they cut them down for pacing reasons. But really, what's there is there. Right? Fucking Prometheus, they'll just guess. Oh, well, we'll keep her around for a bit, and then if we need her later on. Oh, we don't need her later on, just fuck it. Well, that'll be our last line. See you later. So, I don't understand. So, David and Wayland, and a guy with a gun, and the woman with a shit haircut who's Scottish, one of the scientists, and someone else, and Shaw, for some reason, let her come with them. Drive out to the place, they go in the bone ship, they meet the engineer, and they wake him up. David starts blabbering on about whatever the fuck he blabbers on about, and I know there's a translation, and I don't care. They're just making that up, it's just bullshit. David says something like, "Make my master a master, he wants to come here to live forever, whatever." Who cares? He gets David, breaks his neck off, and smacks... He starts fighting everyone, and he kicks a few people, and Shaw runs away. And then, for some reason, the engineer, who has just woke up from all of these things that has been happening, has just killed loads of people, decides that you are clearly from Earth, so I'm going to kill Earth. Oh, wow. When you're watching the film for the first time, you're like, oh, well, that took a fucking shift, didn't it? What? And you just don't get it. You don't get why must destroy Earth. Oh. I don't know what to say. I literally don't know what to say. What do you say to that? What do you say to this fucking giant bodybuilding alien has just got woken up? So maybe you want to sleep on it, or maybe take a minute, maybe find out what year it is, maybe something, I don't know. Do you think these people killed you all? Do you think the humans were attacking us? That's why. What the fuck? How do you know these people even come from Earth? How do you know that? What is going on? Don't know. Doesn't matter. He fires up the spaceship. Elizabeth, instead of running round these big blades that are opening up, she decides to jump and parkour for some reason. I don't know why her guts aren't all over the floor and she's dead. Don't know, who cares. She tells Idris Elba, "Oi, gangster man." He's trying to take off in a ship. How does she know that? I don't know how she knows that, but she knows that. The ship takes off, and I cried. The bone ship takes off. I was like, they really are just fucking having a laugh now, aren't they? And then he turns to his two crew, a pair of retards that were on the ship, and he says to them, do you want to die? Do you want to die? We're all good to die. And they say yes. Yeah, why not, eh? Like it... like it's like, do you want fish and chips? Do you want suicide? Yeah, whatever. Bit of salt on mine, please. What, the suicide of the chips? Whatever, I don't care. Cool. So then they kill themselves and then raise their hands in the air. And then Ridley Scott is clapping, going, oh, they're going to... The emotional... And we're all sat there going, what the fuck is going on? Why? What are you doing? Why are you happily killing yourselves? The captain explained nothing to you. But he says, this is the biggest one. I don't understand this. If any of you want to get in an escape pod, now is the time. He ejects the fuck house. It is a self-contained. It's a self-contained unit. It's got a pod in it. It's got a sofa. It's got a bar. It's got bedrooms. It's got all this shit. And it crash lands. It goes with its engines and crashes. I don't know why. Fucking waste of time. But it crashes slightly, for some reason. Don't know why. And then Vickers goes, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Now, if I was one of those two co-pilots, I'd be like, yeah, me too, stuck on this planet in basically a portable flat with that hot bitch or death. Yeah, I'm ejecting. I'm running right behind her and I'm getting in that pod and I'm going to eject out of this bitch with the hot bitch. I don't understand. It's like the possibilities versus just death. Just death. Like you're on a log flume in 5 seconds. I'm getting off the ship. Fuck you two, you fucking idiots. I'm getting off the ship. Yeah, I need to live and try and fuck that. I'm gone. I'm fucking gone. I'm gone. I will save her life. I will save her life multiple times. And then she may want to reward me. I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand. So, they just, like you do, you sacrifice yourself, right? They sacrifice themselves, and it crashes into the bone ship. It ejects Vickers. They go to like some kind of ion drive, bang, it explodes. And their engine explodes, and all it does is it stalls the bone ship. Doesn't even leave a dent in it. Just stalls it. Then we get the trailer scene. Vickers jumps out of a pod. Elizabeth's running around like a retard because she's just after a parkour stuff. And then, yes, it lands, and yes, it rolls. And I thought it was going to stop, because if you look at it, it's kind of like it's like this. It's like a magnet shape. So you'd have thought it would have rolled and stopped. But no, it cuts, the camera cuts when it gets to this flat bit. And it just went over it. It didn't lump and then start to roll again. That flat bit would have stopped it moving. It would have rocked and then fell over. But no, they do the bit, I know it's all funny, they run away in a straight line, it's retarded. And they're both retarded because Elizabeth only survives because there's a rock. There's a rock. There's a rock that's conveniently placed so it wedges against it and she can hide underneath it and live. Fake out death. Vickers gets swashed because she's retarded. She literally even falls back and looks up and goes, oh my God, just roll, bitch. Stop, drop and roll. Roll. No, shouldn't do that. Instead she dies. What a waste. So she then gets up, does Elizabeth, after being... Well, no, she does the whole... And I hate this. Ridley Scott does this again in The Martian. You've got a hole in your suit. You've got 2 minutes left of oxygen. Well, it's lucky I woke up 2 minutes before I ran out of oxygen, not 2 minutes fucking after, eh? Anyway, so she runs to the escape pod. Thank fuck for that. She gets inside, And then she gets in the shower, soaps herself down, spreads her legs, and then flicks one out for us all to watch. No, she doesn't. Fucking, what a shame. Oh, no. Naomi, you absolutely depressing bitch. So she gets in the thing, and it tells her this horrible... Who did the voice record? You've only got the woman that does the horrible voice in Prometheus. It's just not... It's just a horrible, drony... Oh, that's what this film's like. It's actually quite appropriate. Well done, Ridley. She gets in the escape pod, and then she realises something's not right. And then she hears the doors... Warning, something massive and horrible is breaking in. And it turns out the engineer blames specifically her. Finds that what pod... He obviously watched her go into the pod after he fell out of the sky and didn't hurt himself. Ran over, forced his way in, and she picks up an axe thing. And as he's about to grab her, he goes past the door of where the med pod thing is. And luckily, the squid baby thing in the machine that died is not dead, and it's taken on 40 times its mass. It's fucking huge. The Cthulhu monster grabs him and rapes him. That's what it does. And then it passes out from excitement and falls on top of him. That's what happens. And she luckily gets away. She climbs out of there going, fuck this shit, I'm going to leave the giant Cthulhu and the weird albino. I'm going to go and get David. We're going to go and find a ship and get the fuck out of Dodge. That's what they do. They run around. She takes David's head. I would never put David's head back on his body, you psychopathic bitch. Just keep his head separate. It's fine. Just take his head. I don't know why she takes his body, but she takes the head and the body. And then she starts abseiling. Bitch, you were cut in half a minute ago. It's amazing. We all forget about that. She didn't make any noise. No drugs, no nothing. And then she gets in the ship, fucks off, and does Last Survivor of the Prometheus, wanking off this film because it's shit. It's like, oh, wow. Wow. It's so shit. It's so shit. But then the best thing happens. We then, and I remember in the pictures in the cinema watching this, and I was thinking, fuck me, this was bad. Then there's like a cutscene at the end, and I heard three people, one over there, one behind me kind of thing. I heard three people. When it burst out of his chest, and it's an alien, it goes, "Nyah," and then the little mouth comes out. I heard these three people in unison go, oh, fuck off. Right, so let's talk finally about the most important thing in Prometheus, which is this. Holloway and Shaw. So in other words, Holloway coming in Elizabeth Shaw saved the human race in the alien universe. In the alien universe, him blowing his load up her, chucking his cum up her chimney, saved the universe as far as mankind is. So go back to the dinosaurs and the mammals that survived the meteor impact and them that grew up to then be primates and all of that, all of human civilization, the pyramids and Babylon and the Aztecs and the conquistadors and World War II and the invention of computers and the internal combustion engine and the invention of AI and Wayland and all that shit. All of those people who suffered through disease and war, they were all saved by Holloway's cum. Because he spat up her. You see, he could have not. He was a bit pissed and a bit upset and a bit drunk. And she could have said, no, you said that I'm barren. Right? If he hadn't have done that and just fallen asleep, then she wouldn't have had the tentacle Cthulhu monster that killed the engineer. The engineer would have gone and fucking smacked fucking Elizabeth's face through the back of her head, her eyeballs through the back of her skull. He would have gone, fuck these cunts, gone back to another ship, the ship that Elizabeth Shaw eventually got in with David, taken off, gone to Earth, and fucking killed us all with the black goo. So it is thanks to Holloway that the rest of the alien universe can continue to exist. This is what they should be talking about. This is what Ash should be talking about in Romulus. This is what everyone should... Ripley should be saying... Holloway should have a statue in the middle of New York in the alien universe. He should be the be-all and end-all of everything. It was down to him smacking one upper that saved the universe. Because without that, the human race would pretty much either be in shambles or just completely gone. Because I imagine that the engineers would have run around and killed all of humanity, not just the ones on Earth. So, thank you, Holloway. I know you could have just, done it in a sock or something or whatever, or just not bothered. Or even tried to smack it up Vickers. But instead, you gave it to Elizabeth, that universe-saving seed, and for that, we got aliens, and all the other messes as well, like Romulus and stuff. So, I don't know, it's about 50-50 really, isn't it? Do you think when Dan O'Bannon and Ron Suchet had finished the script and were really chuffed about Alien, do you think that when they all went to the premiere and stuff, they thought, thank you, Holloway. Thank you. Because this isn't some abstract me just saying something silly and stupid and funny. This is literally how the story goes. Because the thing that saves Elizabeth from the engineer, and the engineer that was going to go and kill humanity, the thing that saved it was her love child with Holloway. That's it. And he would have died if he tried the next night, because he died that day. So it was literally him smacking it up her that saved the universe. Prometheus is just, with that in mind, is just incredibly shit. It's incredibly shit. Hope that makes sense. And I'll see you in a bit.